Minkä päällä lakukastike maistuu parhaalta? Ei voi tietää, ellei kokeile. Kouvolan lakritsi.
Hello and welcome to coverage of the ECL Elite Division presented by Kouvolan Lakritsi here at twitch.tv/SportsGamerGG. My name is Brandon B. Mage Bigsby, and we are back for more Elite Division action. We have had 3 weeks of just outstanding play. The standings have been tight. We've had some really good games. We're starting to see some contenders emerge, and now we see 4 more teams here in that conversation today, as we will have 2 outstanding matchups, starting out with 2 teams in the Elite Division that plenty are familiar with: GOONS versus Straikers, then following versus Vesa Pompa. But as you can see, these 2 teams, GOONS and Straikers, 2 teams that have been on opposite ends of the spectrum a little bit. GOONS currently holding on to that final playoff spot. Straikers currently the number 1 team in the Elite Division. And you just take a look at the numbers here really fast, and I think the biggest thing that's going to pop out to you immediately is that goals against. GOONS 83 goals allowed, while Straikers was just 43. But something to keep in mind, Straikers have played significantly less games so far than GOONS. Well, not significantly, a 2-game difference. The stats have been updated, but GOONS with 26 games played, Straikers with 24. So the stats, you kind of get a look at it. GOONS able to score. The defense so far struggling just a little bit, something that we're not used to seeing from this GOONS team that in the past has been very tight defensively, while for Straikers on the other side, phenomenal as usual on both ends of the ice. As we get a quick look at the standings here as well, we kind of talked about it a little bit there. Straikers sitting firmly at that number 1 spot. However, teams behind them with games in hand. Tunnel Vision just 6 points behind. They have 2 games in hand, and Valdoquitun in the Esports, formerly known as H-Reds, 4 games in hand and just 7 points behind. So Straikers currently holding on to that number 1 spot, but need to accrue as many points as possible. These are 2 massive games for them. While for GOONS, they're looking to just get themselves into the playoffs. They have missed the last couple of seasons. This is a team that used to be a mainstay in the earlier ECL Elite seasons, have tried to get their way back there with some roster changes, some lineup changes. They need to get these points today because, as you can see, they have more games played than anybody else in the Elite Division. So Purification, Roots Gaming, Blackjacks, Vesa Pompa, even Polski boys, all teams that could potentially catch up to them that have many games in hand over this GOONS squad. So going to only be 2 games left after today. GOONS have to accrue pretty much every point that they can get. Not an easy task going up against a Straikers team that will be a championship favorite heading into the playoffs. We'll take a look at the matchups and the lineups here really quick for you before we get things underway. As we mentioned, 2 teams with a lot of experience, a lot of familiar names. And we'll start out with the GOONS side. At the forward spot, Kentola at left wing, Sisu at center, and Keskitalo at right wing. The defensive pairing for GOONS, Kriketsi and King of Apes, 2 of the best defensemen that you will find in this division, trying to find their stride together here this season. We'll see how they do today. And in between the pipes, Tuma Kalastaya at goal. While for Straikers, the forward group, Puanso, Eki, and Tempton, the typical trio for the Striker squad. While on the back end, it's Nasustelia at left D and Flyer Kungen at right D. And in between the pipes, the legend himself, Hanselinho. As we'll take a quick look at the matchups for each position, starting out with center. And guys, this is going to be a lot of fun. Not only 2 great sixes players, but 2 of the best 1v1 players in the world matching up at that center spot. Sisu versus Eki. And it's interesting with Sisu not necessarily having the point tallies that you would expect to see from him, under a point per game, but this is a guy that is so good on both ends of the ice. He can set his teammates up well. If these guys can get connected, Sisu is going to be the power play guy to really get things going and drive the play more times than not. But it's going to be a tough task against Eki over on that right side, who has just been phenomenal as always. 31 assists so far with 43 points. Both of these men have been very good at the face-off dot as well. So the possession game, so critical typically. Face-offs going to be something to really look out for here in this game with two guys that really do know how to win the draws. We'll take a look here at the wingers as well. And, all of these guys, really good goal scorers, but I think the two that really stand out to you specifically is Kentola, 28 goals and 48 points. By far the leading goal getter here for GOONS so far this season. I mean, if you want some perspective, GOONS so far, a total of 67 goals, Kentola 28 of them. So almost a third of the goals scored so far this year have come from the left winger of GOONS. So Kentola going to be a guy to look out for. 104 shots so far in the 26 games he has played. It is going to be fascinating to watch him work. And then Keskatalo over on his right side, a total of 18 points in the 10 games he has played. So maybe not the amount of games we typically see from Keskatalo, but nevertheless, when he has been out there, he has been effective. So make sure to look out for him. And then over on that striker side, just typical excellence from Puanso and Tempinen. 39 points for Puanso, 33 for Tempinen, each of them with 20 goals so far this season. So both have contributed. It's a very balanced attack on that striker side. It'll be fun to see how GOONS counters it on the defensive end. And speaking of defensive end, let's take a look at the defense for both of these two sides, shall we? As we talked about a little bit, Straikers, one of the better defensive teams that you will find. They are second in the ECL Elite Division in goals allowed per game with 1.79. And it's Nasu Stelia and Flyer Kungen, the old Havu grouping, that have really locked things down back there so far. While for GOONS, as we mentioned, trying to find their stride a little bit defensively, which is surprising, really. You got Kriketsi, you got King of Apes back there, two of the best defenders, two of the best players, arguably, that you will find in this league, but they have just not been able to lock things down. Second highest goals allowed per game in the ECL Elite Division. The only team higher than them, Gotham Knights, who is right behind them in the standings. So if GOONS want to try to find their way into the right side of the playoffs at the end of this regular season, they're going to have to lock it down in their own end. And it's going to have to really be an emphasis today against this high-octane Straikers offense. But the goaltenders, that is going to be the really fun matchup to watch. Two goalies that we've seen before can really step up and can really stand on their head when asked for. And, you look at Tuma Kalasta, 10 games played, hovering right around an 80 save percentage, a 79.5. He's 5-0-4-1. And remember, the defense for GOONS has not necessarily been their strong suit so far this season. So for Tuma Kalasta to come in and have a solid save percentage, pretty impressive, right around that 80% mark, but he's going to have to be better than that if they want to have a chance against this striker side. He's going up against one of, if not the best goalie in the history of this division. There's a lot of names you could toss out there. You could toss out Nike, you could toss out McSavid, but you cannot name a list without that man on your right side, Hanselinho, coming back, 16 games played, 84.1 save percentage. I mean, he has been absolutely, without any question, informed, one of the best goalies easily so far in the ECL Elite Division so far this season. The Straikers going to hope for another fantastic performance here from him today, as we are just a few moments away, a few minutes away here from puck drop. And remember, this is not going to be the only series that we will have here in this broadcast. We will also have Vesa Pompa versus Polski boys, as both teams are firing up and getting ready to go. As we will come back into the broadcast booth here in just a second, as there we are, as GOONS and Straikers get ready to go. And, as we mentioned, this is going to be interesting for a lot of reasons. These are two teams that do not have a lot of games left in the standings, but two teams that both need points desperately for different reasons. Straikers trying to hold on to that number one spot, while for GOONS trying to get themselves into the good side of that playoff spot, as the standings actually just updated, and they have been surpassed on that 8th spot by the Blackjacks, who currently have 5 games in hand over them. So GOONS desperately need to win really both of these games. They most certainly have to accrue points in each of these games here today, as GOONS a team that, as we mentioned, they're trying to get back into that playoff conversation. This was a team that, remember, made the semifinals just a few seasons ago, but they've had a lot of lineup changes. They've had a lot of leadership changes. This is a different GOONS squad than what we saw 2 years ago when they did make that deep run and were just a game or two away from making it to the ECL Elite Finals, trying to get back to that point. And for Straikers, trying to get that elusive championship once again. It's been a while since we've seen this group win a championship together, and typically it's been tunnel vision or it's been H-Reds that have constantly been their bane of denying them of that. We thought they were going to get there a couple of seasons ago, fell just one game short in that Game 7 against Tunnel Vision. Trying to get back to that point, fell short last season, falling in the semifinals. Well, we'll see if they can get there, but got to do your work in the regular season first. We'll see if they can lock down that 1 seed, potentially help them in that quest. And before we start, wanted to give out another shout out to our amazing sponsor and COVID Unlocker to see all of their amazing and continued support over the many years here of ECL coverage. And for those of you in the chat, tell us, who do you think is going to win this matchup? Again, 2 experienced teams, 2 teams with plenty to play for here in this one. Let us know. Who do you got here in the series? Who do you got here in game 1? We always love to hear you guys' opinions and what you think coming into what will be an outstanding matchup. As you see, both sides ready to go, loading things up here into the locker room. And you get a look at some of the builds here. A lot of puck-moving defensemen over on the side of Straikers. Eki rolling with the power forward build as he will actually be lining up here at center. And it'll be interesting, him versus Sisu once again, as we talked about. Sisu going with that playmaker build, so a bit of a size difference there between Sisu to Eki. We'll see if that maybe has a bit of a bearing on that matchup between the 2 men in the middle as our 2 sides get ready to go. They load in, and it's going to be a fun matchup, everyone. So buckle up, grab your popcorn, grab a drink, because Goons versus Straikers is ready to go. Once again, your lineups for Goons: Gantala, Keskitalo, and Cici, your 3 forwards. King of Apes and Kriketsi on the back end defensively, and it's Tuma Kalastia in between the pipes. While for Straikers, Tempinen, Eki, and Puanso, Flyer Kungan and Nasustelia at defense, and Hasalino at goal. You'll be looking at the perspective of Straikers here in this matchup. As Eki and Sisu line up for the face-off. And we are underway. Week 4 of ECL Elite coverage as Cantala gives it over to King of Apes as Goons try to work it into the offensive zone, but quickly called offsides against the Goons. Face off will be to the bottom left of the neutral zone. As Goons picks up possession and King of Apes will control it. Turned over, picked up by Eki, who gives over to Puanto. Back to Eki. Eki spins, tries to pass it across, but a save made by Tumaklastia. King of Apes gets control of it. Let's take a look at the lineups at the bottom left and right corner of your screen. Kriketsi brings it up and will ring that around the boards, given chase and found by Straikers. Nasustelia gives it to Eki, finds Tempinen all alone. Backhand save made by Tumaklastia. What a play! Here comes Goons on the counter. Sisu controls and gives it back to King of Apes, who will work this back and will dump this out of play for a stoppage. 16-24, but how about that save from Tumaklastia on the breakaway from Tempinen? Looked like Tempinen had a 1-0 lead on his stick, but robbed and denied by the goaltender. Goons certainly thankful. It's going to be the kind of play they need from their goalie to try to beat this Straikers team that sits in number 1 in the division. Goons controls the puck right now with Kriketsi. Tries to bring it past, but it's turned over, and here comes Puanza with space. Tries to speed his way past the defender, puts a quick shot on, is swept aside by Tumaklastia. Straikers will regain possession with Tempinen. By Kungan to Nasustelia. Puanza with the left side, tries to spin and gives it over to Flyer Kungan at the right side, but he's hit off of it, and here comes Goons in an odd man rush. King of Apes speeds past, pass across. Picked up by Straikers, however, not a dangerous chance there for Goons. So here comes Straikers on the other end. Eki controls it, passes it, but it's turned over, but Eki gets it back immediately. Less than 12 minutes to play, still scoreless, but no shortage of chances here between these 2 sides so far. Eki dumps it in behind the net. Battle for on the right side is picked up by Eki. Now the Tempinen behind the net. Tempinen looking, pass in front, won't go anywhere as Kesitalo gets to it and gives it over to Cantola. Cantola holding his backhand for an option and gives it back to the point. Ketsi shot on, save made by Hanselino. Here comes Puanzo now on the other end. It's over to Tempinen at the right boards. Back to Puanzo. Bumped off of it. It gets it back. Now the Tempinen tried to get a shot on, but couldn't quickly enough as it's turned over. A nice defensive play made by Goons. Goons dumps it in, but it's picked up by Stelia. Just maybe trying to get a little bit of energy back here was Goons on dumping that play in. No one gave chase to it. Just turned over. Here comes Goons. Gentola. Pass. Another chance. Rebound. Save made by Hanselinho as it's full pressure here for Goons. Gentola gives it over across. Blocked on that shot attempt. Another chance. Shot goes wide. Rikesi shot from the point. Blocked at the point there by Tempinen, who was bumped off of that puck immediately. Goons still controlling with full pressure. Straikers trying to get it out, and they do. No energy here for Straikers. Zeki controls and turns it over. He didn't have any energy to do anything with it. Keski Talo tried to pass in the middle. Shot on. Save made by Hanselinho. He fakes over to Cantolo. Blocked in front of that shot attempt. Goons starting to work, starting to operate here. Can they get a goal off of it? And they will draw a penalty and a power play to come now for Goons. That penalty going to be called against Puanso, and Goons, who so far this season converting at the power play at just around 20%, will get a chance to get the opening goal of the game. This is one of the best penalty kills in the league that they're facing in Straikers. 88.24% on the PK is Straikers. That is third in the elite division. As a pause here by Straikers, will more than likely assume that they will use the timeout here. And you don't mind this play. You just had to battle against that full pressure as Goons had a nice few possessions there. You don't have much energy. Why not go ahead and take that timeout, get everyone at full stamina to try to kill off this penalty? And that's exactly what they do. Face off to the left side of Hanselino. Won by Goons. King of Apes at the point, drives in, shot across it, they score! The one-timer from Kentala, the captain of Goons, gives them the lead 1-0 here in the first period. And the setup by no one else but King of Apes. We've seen him do this for years now, just able to drive the play. That pass across for the one-time shot at the left side over in Ovechkin's office was Kentala. He made Straikers pay. Goons kept pushing. They drew the penalty, and they convert for the opening goal of the game. A 1-0 lead for Goons with 4:02 to play here in the first period, as Straikers will look to respond as they push it up into the neutral zone and past the blue line, but a nice pick off there from Sisu. As King of Apes will now control it and get it past the blue line. He'll have to reverse course back into the neutral zone as Straikers did a good job shutting things down at the blue line. Cantala holding in. A nice job from Goons, not wanting to run into anything. Straikers with a really strong trap in the neutral zone as Goons forced to dump that out, and it will be an icing. So a minute and a half to play, and now an offensive zone face-off coming up here for Straikers. Face-off will be to the right side of Tumaklastia, left side of our screen. Tie up, won by Goons. Sisu has on some critical face-off so far for Straikers. Eki shot on, blocker save made by Tumaklastia, and he will hold on to it for a stoppage with 58 seconds left here in the first period. Face-off will be from the same location. 5-1 the face-off battle in favor of Goons. That'll be 5-2 now as Eki wins it on the tie-up. That's with Stelia. Pulls it at the high face-off circle at the left side. Passed over, shot was blocked. 6 seconds remaining as Kriketsi controls it for Goons. This is the King of Apes trying to speed his way into the offensive zone. Shot on, easy save made by Hanseninho. And that will be the end of the first period. We said Goons needed points. Well, they're off to a good start. A 1-0 lead over the number one team in the division in Straikers. And it came off of the power play goal from Kantala on that play right there. The one-timer on the pass from King of Apes. Converted. It gives his Goons team a 1-0 lead after the first 20 minutes. As we get a quick look at the stats here, and for the most part, pretty even. Only a 23-second difference of time on attack. Straikers with the advantage, but really where things get a little bit array, the hits tally and the face-offs. A 5-2 advantage in face-offs for Goons, a 14-1 hits advantage for Goons as well. So not only have they been more physical, but they have won some critical draws. And again, we talked about that being one of the storylines in this game. Sisu versus Eki, two of the better playmakers that you'll find in this division. Both of those guys Elite on the 1v1 end of things. Wouldn't be surprised if we see them as contenders in the ECL Spring 1v1, which, by the way, shameless plug, make sure you sign up for that if you haven't already at sportsgamer.gg. We have 6v6 action happening here, and we're back underway here in the second period. As first play of the period going to be an offsides called against Straikers. Face off won by Straikers in the neutral zone. They get into the offensive zone. Flyerkungen controls it. Gets back to the point. It's not Sustelia has it now. Back to Flyerkungen. Now to Puazzo. Shot in front. Blocked. And here comes Goons on the other end. Tried to get that long pass out of the neutral zone, but Gatola couldn't get it. Flyerkungen over to Eki at the left board. Shot on. Sweeped away by Tumaklastia. As the Goons can't hold on. Puazzo on the backhand scores! A quick play. If you blinked, you would have missed. Straikers creates the turnover, and they capitalize with a chance and a goal. It's a 1-1 tie, and Straikers respond in the second period as you get a look at the replay. Right there, a nice job from the right winger in Templeton forcing that turnover over on the boards. Finds his man in Puazzo pretty much all alone and gets it over on the backhand. Tumaklastia not able to make that save. He's been spectacular all game long, not able to come up on that one. And just like that, less than 3 minutes into the second, Straikers knocked this one up at 1 apiece. Let's see if that can give them some momentum here. Puazzo had it for just a second in the offensive zone, but it was turned over, and here comes Goons on the other end. Turned over immediately, however, from Goons, and now Straikers looking to respond. Nice dig from Puazzo as it was called offsides. Just a step ahead of him there was Templeton. They were meeting at the blue line. Face off in the neutral zone. Take a look at that hits difference. Now 19-1. It was 14-1 at the end of the period. So 5 hits in 4 minutes here to start the second period for Goons. They are a team well known for their physicality. That's typically the team you see leading the league in hits. This season has been no exception for them, as they are first in the league in hits, 960. The second place team unwanted with 697, so almost 300 more hits for Goons than any other team in the league. As they control of the offensive zone, Kroketsi has it at the point. Circling around, looking for space, goes down to the corner board and dumps it down low. Trying to find space right now are Goons, but nice defense there from Straikers in the defensive zone to force the turnover. And they make it into the neutral zone here with Templeton, who takes a big hit and forces an offsides. And that is the physicality for Goons. That is why it works. They step up, and they do so at good points as you see that massive hit there thrown down. Forces the offsides and the turnover. Now Straikers forced to take a face-off in the neutral zone. Tied up by Eki, and it's won by Straikers. Eki skates it in the neutral zone past the blue line and gets it back. Turned over momentarily, but picked up by Puazzo, trying to go back down to Eki. But battle in front, it goes in! Eki will be credited with the goal. It took a funny bounce there, but Straikers not going to complain. They get a 2-1 lead on that, and we'll get a look at the replay as it was Eki, obviously, that touched it last. I can't tell how that went in. As it looked like Eki was controlling it, just maybe was going for a pass or lost control of it and it hit off of something, but nevertheless, finds its way in the back of the net, and Straikers with their first lead of the game. 2-1 now your score, nearly halfway through this one. Ketzi tries to bring it past the blue line, but is offsides. So now Goon's going to have to try to coordinate a response here, as we do have actually a correction here on the lineups. It is not Hanselino that is in for Straikers, it is Sibelius. So Sibelius in net for this Straikers team, so my apologies on that mistake. We'll see if Sibelius gets tested here as the faceoff is into the and they will move it into the offensive zone. Coogan had it for a second, but lost it. And here comes Keskitalo for GOONS. Pass across, puck loose. Sibelius trying to grab it, and he does. I've already seen one time where the puck has been loose in front of him. As you get a look at the lineups here for both sides on the bottom left and right-hand corner of your screen. Take a look at the records there, too. GOONS needing to get as many wins as they can. Have to try to find their way back into this one. Tie up in the offensive zone from GOONS, but it's lost and won by Straikers. Here come Tempinen on the left side. Tempinen trying to a little bit of space, but a nice hit there by Kroketsi to bump him off with that puck. Sisu skates down the left boards, gives him Keskitalo. Now over to Kroketsi at the opposite side, but a penalty going to be drawn right after against GOONS. So Straikers now a chance on the power play as King of Apes will head to the box for 2 minutes. As we get a look at it right there, and yep, right on that turnover after they lost it, King of Apes poke check from behind, draws the tripping penalty, and now Straikers, one of the best power plays in the league at 40%, have a chance to try to double their lead. They're up 2-1 here with 8:40 remaining in the second period. Stelia controls at the left faceoff dot. Becky at the point. The Tempinen shot on. Blocker save made by Tuumakaulastia. Control still by Straikers. Eki at the high point. Shot on. Tipped in front, but doesn't hit the net. Eki. Shot on. Blocked in front. Puck loose. Tempinen shot on. Glove save made by Tuumakaulastia. He will freeze it for a whistle. 7:50 to play. Standing goaltending so far from Tuumakaulastia came in at a 79.5 save percentage. Showing out here so far against the #1 team in the Elite Division. High up, face-off won by Straikers in the offensive zone. Eki, pass in front, puck loose, picked up by Keskitalo, but picked back up by Straikers. Full pressure now for Straikers. Guanso to Nasu Stelia, Sisu gets it, tries to dump it out, but can't dump it out far enough. It's still in the offensive zone. He controls it at the high point. Nasu Stelia lost possession, and Sisu will dump that out into the neutral zone as King of Apes now comes out of the box. Back to 5-on-5, 6v6 action. Save made by Tuumakaulastia on that play. Full pressure again for Straikers. They're working. Puck loose in front. Picked up by GOONS, but it's loose again. A delayed penalty called. It's going to be against Straikers, so GOONS now will go on the power play. They scored on their first. They score on their second for a tying mark, and a timeout looks like going to be called here by GOONS, who want to get energy back after a penalty kill and 2 full pressures that they had to go up against. Gives us a chance to look at the stats here real quick as Straikers 2 more minutes of time in attack, so dominating the possession. 4 more shots on that with that time of possession, but again, just the physicality of GOONS. 32-2 in hits. Something I think you do have to give some credit. Give some credit to Eki. We saw him earlier losing the face-off battle 5-1. Now it is 7-12. So an 11-2 difference ever since that point in favor of Eki as he doesn't win this face-off. Sisu gets it here for GOONS. Shot from the point from Kroketsi goes wide. King of Apes gets it back here for GOONS. Controls it, pass across to Sisu. Puck loose in front after the shot on. Battle for it as Sibelius will get control of it and will freeze it. Chaos in front. But GOONS not able to capitalize just yet. 1:18 to go on this power play for GOONS. 5 minutes to go here in the period. And Vapes controls it. Holds it, pass across, puck loose! It was an open net, but not able to get the shot off cleanly there. Was GOONS, and Sibelius will find it and will freeze it. And if you're GOONS, that has to be the strategy. Continue to get it into those dirty areas. Have not been able to find stick to puck so far, but have to assume that they will here soon. The way they're trending is the pass from King of Apes rejected by the defender of Straikers as here comes Tempinen on the other end. Turns it over, and here comes GOONS. 3-on-2. Kroketsi, nice poke check there made by Flyer Kungan as Tempinen controls it and gives it down low to Eki. Killing time here, Striker. It's on that penalty kill as they do so as it's back to even strength. Vapes controls it and gives it to Keskitalo, who finds Sisu. Now to Kroketsi past the blue line. Kroketsi tried to give it over to Sisu, who was cutting towards the middle of the net, but could not find any space. Tempinen now has it. Find the pass across behind him to the left side, and Straikers will pick it back up in the neutral zone. Eki holds it at the left boards. Temping it now in the left corner board. Couldn't get a clean shot on, but Kostia was there for it anyways. 50 seconds to play here in the second period. Fast minute here in the second period. Now down to 30 seconds. That's Stelia. Puazzo. To Eki. Eki holding a shot on. Puck battle in front. Flyer Kungen with it. Turned over. And that will do it for the second period as Straikers come out of it with a 2-1 lead after being down 1-0 at the start of this period. They find 2 goals and find themselves in the lead. As I mentioned it earlier, Straikers trying to accrue as many points as they can to hold on to that number 1 spot. Teams behind them have games in hand that will further here after these 2 matchups here against GOONS. So got to get as many points as you can if you want to hold on to that number 1 spot, because they do not control their own destiny really much after this point. So take a quick look at the stats, and 12-8 in shots in favor of Straikers. We're able to increase their time on attack a little bit there at the end of that second period as well. As we have to give a little bit of credit to Lighton in the chat, who just gave us a nice little stat there to keep an eye of. GOONS are just 3 hits away from surpassing the 1,000 hit mark this season. Safe to say they will break that here in this period with the way they're going, as we are underway here for the third period. Straikers has possession. You see the lineups for both sides in the bottom left and right hand corner of your screen. A shot on from Puazzo. Saved by Tumaklastia, who is in net for GOONS. Sisu picks it up here for GOONS and gives it to Kantala. Kokasi shot on, brushed away there by Sibelius in net. There's a big hit there on Flyer Kungen. One closer to 1,000 here for GOONS. Nice little move there from Flyer Kungen. Passed across, puck loose, and Tumaklastia will go ahead and cling on to it, and we'll stop this for a freeze. As you take a look there at the big hit there on Flyer Kungen. Plenty familiar sight there for this Straikers team. They'll get one more game of this. This is just the first of our 4 games of action here today. We'll have one more match between these 2 teams, and then we'll have Polski boys against Vesa Pompa. 2 teams that are currently in the battle for some of those final playoff spots, along with GOONS. We have business to take care of here first, as Straikers trying to work their way in the offensive zone. Puazzo gets control of it. Puazzo pass across. Nice pick by Kantala. Is a penalty going to be called against Straikers, as Eki will sit down and go to the box, as it was an interference called against them. Good look at the replay to see where that happened, as it was the puck battle there in front, trying to get the positioning there over that GOONS defender, but it's a little bit too much. Gives GOONS some life here on the power play. 1 for 2 on the power play here so far today. 2 shots on net on those attempts. It's a battle for the neutral zone. Nice job there for Straikers getting it out, but King of Apes gets it back into the offensive zone. Gives it back. Keskitalo shot on from the point, blocked in front by Straikers. King of Apes gets it back here for GOONS. Work its way in some space, tried to pass it in front, but no room. As here comes Straikers on the other end, as Nasu Stelia wisely goes back. We'll dump this away, killing a little bit of time here off of that GOONS power play. 45 seconds left on the power play for GOONS, down by 1 here in the third period. Straikers gets control of it, trying to dump it out, but can't. Vapes over on the pass, and the one-timer saved by Sibelius. We'll hold on here for a whistle. There's a few seconds left here on the power play for GOONS. 13 seconds to be exact. Face off to the right side, Sibelius. It's won by GOONS, but no one there for the puck. It's back to 5-on-5 as Zeki gets out of the box. Straikers with it. Alonso controls it. Gives it to Tempin at the right side. Goes back over to Flyer Kungen, down to Puazzo. Down low to Eki. Tries to pass it in front over Guanzo, but could not find him as it's turned over. Here's Cantala. Shot on, blocked in front away. The King of Apes gets it back for Goons. It's a cross save made by Sibelius. What a play. Best chance of the day so far for Goons, arguably under the goal. Here comes Guanzo, poked away by Sisu behind him. Action starting to pick up here between these two sides with less than 10 minutes to play. These Strikers will dump that away, and an icing will be called with 9:10 remaining here in the third period. As we take a look at another hit there by Goons, you have to assume that they are over that 1,000 hit mark by now. A very rare feat in ECL history that you see a team get past the century mark, or excuse me, the 1,000 hit mark. The Strikers not caring about that. They want points and they want wins, as they are currently up 2-1 here with 7.5 minutes remaining here in the third period. As Tepinen shot on, pass save made by Tumaklastia. Goons looking to counter. Ketsi holds it. Pass across, could not find Sisu cleanly there in front, and here comes Strikers on the other end. Tempinen over to Eki, stops, looks, tries to get it across, but can't do so cleanly as Tumaklastia will take possession and will freeze it. So take a look there at that save made from Tumaklastia on the pad, got that original pad save and then kicked it away there with that sprawling animation. As the next goal becoming more and more critical here. Goons looking to tie it. Strikers looking to extend their lead to 2. Face off won by Goons in the defensive zone. Battle for it in the neutral zone, and it's found by Strikers. Guanzo has it. Hit hard there over on the boards, and it's turned over. Here comes Goons on the counter, but they turn it over. Guanzo gets on the pass from Eki. Guanzo pass across to tap it in, but a little bit late. It's the side of the net on the shot. Goons has possession now. 4 minutes to play. Time starting to run thin. As a penalty going to be called, and it's going to be against Goons. A boarding penalty going to be called. And boy, is that massive. Got him right there. So a power play for Strikers, and more importantly, time off the clock. The Strikers control in the offensive zone. They'll dump that into their own zone accidentally. And again, up by 1. 3 minutes remaining. You're fine killing that time off. Still had it momentarily, but it's turned over. Here comes King of Apes. Not going to dump this one. Shot on, blocked in front by Nasustelia. And here comes Strikers on the counter. Eki holds it at the right point, gives it to Tempinen. Tempinen circles around, gives it back to Eki. Now to Nasustelia. Back to Eki. Back to Nasustelia. Shot on the one-timer. Save made by Tumaklastia. And here comes Goons on the other end. King of Apes controls it. Turned over on the bump there from Eki, and here comes Strikers. 4-on-3. Tempinen pass across. Save made from Tumaklastia. Puck loose. It's picked up by Sisu. Back to 5-on-5 with a minute to play. Goons has it. Ketsi holding it. Got to get into the offensive zone as an offsides is called. Nice lockdown defense there from Strikers. As you get a look at the hits, 50-9 in favor of Goons, but they need a goal to tie this one up and take it to OT. Time face-off won by Eki. Turned over in the neutral zone, however, and is dumped inside the Goons' offensive zone. Given chase, and Strikers finds it. Nasustelia speeds his way up the left boards and gives it to Puanzo. Puanzo to Eki, trying to cut his way to the right side, but holds on to it. Tempinen now finds it to Kentala. 8 seconds. Last gasp for Goons. Can they find anything? It's turned over and picked that by Sisu. To Ketsi. Oh, he couldn't find the pass across the Kantala. He was wide open. There was open net, but it was poked away. And Strikers holds on for dear life. A 2-1 regulation win. A massive 3 points for Strikers and a massive opportunity lost for Goons on the other side. As you get a look at the opening goal there for Goons. The only goal they were able to score in this one is Cantala was able to convert on the pass from King of Apes on the power play. That was the last time Goons would see the net, as Straikers with 2 goals in the second period were able to find their way to a victory, just holding on there late there in that third period. The Straikers with a massive victory to help their case for the #1 seed in the ECL Elite Division. As you get a look at the game winner, it wasn't pretty, but it was a goal from Eki to give Straikers the victory. As you take a look at the final stats there, Straikers 19-13 in terms of the shots. 9 minutes of time on attack compared to 5-13 for Goons. And you just see some of the events here that happened in this one. The 2 goals there from Straikers in the second period, that was the difference. As really, I think a story here for Goons as well, just not able to take advantage of some of those power play opportunities after converting on their first one. They went 1 for 3 in this game in total, converted on their first attempt, as we mentioned. That was the only goal that they got. Cantala on the assist from King of Apes, but after that, not able to do much with those power play opportunities. It came back to bite them as the Straikers get game 1 in the books, a 2-1 victory for them. They secured the 3 points in the standings. We'll see if they can replicate that here in game 2, as we will see the second matchup between Goons and Straikers here in just a few minutes. But before we do that, we're going to take a short break, and we were going to hear a quick word from our amazing sponsors. But do not go away. Game 2 action on the other side. We'll be right back after the break.
Minkä päällä lakukastike maistuu parhaalta? Ei voi tietää, ellei kokeile. Kouvolan lakritsi. Minkä päällä lakukastike maistuu parhaalta? Ei voi tietää, ellei kokeile. Kouvolan lakritsi.
Thank you for sticking with us as we are back getting ready for game number 2 between Goons and Straikers. Brandon B, Major Bixby here with you. As you weren't with us here for game number 1, maybe you are just joining us there while we were in the break. Goons and Straikers. Straikers able to get that 2-1 victory over Goons. The second goal in the second period there scored by Eki. Hit off a bit of a funny bounce, but nevertheless, gave Straikers that advantage. They were able to hold on to it the rest of the way, and you see what that can do for them in the standings as they have been updated with that game. Straikers able to increase their gap over Tunnel Vision and Veloquiten in the Esports to 9 and 10 respectively. So as you can see with the games played, that is big for Straikers to get every point they can get. They have to continue to get points if they want to hold on to that number 1 spot. While for Goons on the opposite side, that was the last thing they needed. As you see, Blackjacks able to increase their points gap on Goons to 3. Goons really needed to find those 3 points there to keep themselves in that conversation, especially just 3 games remaining in their regular season. Here's one more quick look at the lineups here. If you weren't with us earlier, for Goons, it's Kantala, Sisu, and Keskitalo at the 3-4 trio. For Ketsi and King of Eights on the back end, and Tuma Kalastia at goalie, while for Straikers, Puanzo, Eki, and Tempinen, the 3-4 trio, while Nasu Stelia and Flyer Kungen man the duo at defense, and Sibelius in between the pipes for Straikers. As we'll take a quick look here at the goalie matchup, we had Hanselino earlier, but it is Sibelius that is in this game. 8 games played, an 80.9 save percentage, has 1 shutout to his credit so far as well. And there's so many of these guys on Straikers. They've won championships, they've competed for championships, and I mean, you see why every single time. And Sibelius, one of those guys, played for Havu for many, many seasons, and the Havu and Frölunda teams or Philadelphia teams kind of jointed together here to make Straikers, and it's been a successful pairing so far. Still looking for that first championship together, but you have to feel like it is coming soon, especially the way that they have played here so far this season. And guys, if you're enjoying the action, but you're more of a 1v1 player, or if you enjoy the 1v1 side along with the 6s side, well, boy, do we have some good news for you. The ECL 24 Spring 1v1 sign up is available now. Make sure to go to SportsGamer.gg to sign up for that. I got to call the semifinals and the finals for that, and let me tell you, it is an absolute doozy. You are not going to want to miss it. So, hey, if you are over in Europe, you want to compete over on that 1v1 side against some of the best in the world, make sure you go to sportsgamer.gg to sign up for the ECL 24 Spring 1v1 tournament. Some of the best play there. I promise you, you're not going to want to miss it. As we thought we were going to get the game there started, but it looks like the 2 teams going to have to respin and try that again as Goons and Straikers get set here for game number 2. And we're not going to be done after this one. 2 more games and 1 more series to come after this game 2, as Polski boys and Vesa Pompa will match up against one another. As we'll take a quick look here before we get things going here once again for game 2 at a couple of the matchups, starting out with Sisu and Eki. As you saw Sisu and Eki there, both of them, as we mentioned, the 1v1 side of things, 2 of the best 1v1 players you'll find matching up against each other at that center position. There we go. We have it back up there, but we mentioned it. 2 of the best there at that center position. You see the points difference there. Obviously, Sisu a little bit lower than Eki there, 24 points compared to 43. But as we mentioned, Sisu, a guy that isn't just all about the offense. He contributes defensively. He's a great 2-way player. Eki, obviously a great 2-way player as well. But for Goons, a team that he has been able to find some successful goals. A little bit surprising to not see him with a little bit of a higher point total, but it's not all about the points. It's what you can do for your team to help them win games. Sisu has been a contributor in a lot of the games that this Goons team has won. Goons really could be in a better place if not for an 8-game pointless streak that they had in the middle of the season, but nevertheless find themselves currently in 9th in the standings with just 3 games remaining. Everyone in the league has games in hand over them, so their chances of making the playoffs rather bleak, but crazier things have happened, and we'll see maybe what they can do here as they continue on with their regular season. You get a look at the wingers here, Kantala and Keskitago on the side of Goons. It was Kantala that got his 29th goal of the season as the only goal for Goons there in that first game. One of the better and honestly more underrated goal scorers that I think you will find. I mean, Kantala, he's second in the league in points with 49 so far this season, only behind Nicky Dangles. And you look at the goals, that number 1 spot held by no one else but Kantala. Vatu behind him by just 1, but Kantala, number 1 in goals, number 2 in points, definitely a candidate for MVP despite the lack of success that the team has had. Look out for him over at that left wing side. He's going to have an impact here in this game. While on the other end, Puazzo and Tempinen, 2 more consistent wingers that you will find in the league. Going to be a lot of fun to see here what they can do. Both of those guys top 10 in the league so far this season in goals scored. So going to be a lot of fun to see them make their impact. And, you know, you look at Tempinen specifically, you have to remember this is a guy that actually played with Goons during the e-hockey SM 2024. So he's familiar with that other side that he's matching up against today. As you look at the defense, speaking of guys that are familiar with each other, Kriketsi and King of Apes versus Nasu Stelia and Flyer Kungen, 4 veterans of the ECL Elite Division, guys that have competed for championships, guys that have won championships. As the defense was really one of the talking points there in that game number 1. You only get 3 combined goals, and it was King of Apes that actually had the setup for the 1 goal that Goons had, while Nasu Stelia and Flyer Kungen were really able to man things down and lock in against the Goons there in that third period, holding on to that 1 goal lead, not allowing Goons to really get much going. So all 4 defenders really stepping up and doing so in different ways. Kriketsi laying the body around multiple different times. He was an absolute monster. You talk about the hits for Goons. It really starts and ends with Kriketsi there in that left D spot. Look out for him to really lay the body down here on the Straikers team. And one more time, the goaltending matchup between these 2 teams. We looked at that a little bit earlier. Tuma Kalastia, absolutely amazing there in that first game despite the loss. Sibelius, obviously great as well, only allowing 1 goal there in game number 1. But it is time to move forward and turn the page to game number 2 as our teams are ready. They have matched up. And it is going to be Goons that is the home side this time. We will still be looking at the perspective of Straikers. Wearing their away white and blue uniforms, of Goons in the purple and silver threads. As we are underway here for game number 2 between Goons and Straikers. You can see the lineups for both teams on the bottom left and right-hand corner of your screen. As Nasu Stelia controls it here for Straikers. Trying to find some space for a pass and gives it over to Eki. Finds Puanzo, but he's hit immediately, not able to get past the blue line, but Straikers gets it back. Tempinen controls it, trying to deke his way past the defender, but cannot do so successfully as Sisu picks it up for Goons for their first possession of the game. Ketsi has it, loses control, but a power play going to be upcoming here for Goons as a penalty called against Straikers. A cross-checking penalty against Nasu Stelia. Goons with a golden opportunity here early here in the first period on the power play. They scored on the power play for the first goal of the game in the last matchup. Hoping to replicate that here in game number 2. Face off to the left side of Sibelius. Tie up. Won nearly by Goons, but it was turned over immediately as King of Apes will now get it after the dump. Puazzo has it now after the turnover. Gives it to Tempinen, who will just ring that around behind the net. So off a little bit of time. Base controls and gives it to Sisu. Past the blue line to Kriketsi now. Holds at the point. Shot on. Save made there. Kantala. Same man that scored the 1 goal for Goons last game on the power play. There's a pass in front. Shot and they score. Kriketsi pushes the issue and puts it in front It's Keskatalo. As a 1-0 lead here for Goons, and deja vu, a power play goal for the opening goal in favor of Goons. To give them a 1-0 lead as you see just that pass over in front. Keskatalo at the perfect place, right time. Sibelius not able to make the save. And it is once again off of the stick of King of Apes that comes off of. So 5 minutes in and a 1-0 lead for Goons. It's a quick chance there from Eki. Save made there from Tumaklastia as a breakaway here from Kantala. He scores! The captain, Kantala, puts it in. A 2-0 lead now here for Goons. Back-to-back goals in a matter of 2 minutes on the breakaway. As Sibelius, I think, was maybe anticipating the pass over to the right side. Keskatalo was with Kantala on that play. And that's just such a tough position for the goalie to be put in. A 2-on-0, you don't know whether you should take the shot or the pass. If you take the pass, you leave that open space for the shot. If you take the shot and you know that pass coming across is going to be difficult to save. Sibelius in no man's land, and Goons takes advantage. A 2-0 lead here, 6 minutes in. A slap shot across, save made there this time by Sibelius. Goons still controlling it, however. And over. Neki controls it here for Straikers, looking to kill off this momentum here. Ever since that penalty that Nasastelia took, has been all Goons here. Neki controls it, skates into the left side, goes over the corner board, pass across, one-time shot from Flyer Krugen, save made. And here comes Goons on the counter. King of Apes controls it. Stops, gives it up in front, but it's picked off by Nasastelia. Here comes Straikers. 4-on-2. Eki pass across, and they score! Tempinen with the goal. How about Straikers responding immediately? It's exactly what the doctor ordered. As that close quarters X-Factor ability doing its work there. The pass over from Eki. Giving it over to his fellow winger. Puts it in and beats Tumaklastia. As it was Puanso actually that got that goal. The Straikers cuts the lead down to 1. Can Goons respond? Kriketsi holds it down low. And a penalty going to be drawn. Another power play here for Goons. That's how they scored the opening goal. See if they can do it again. Goons had some chances in game 1. The power play went just 1 for 3. And the Vapes has to cross in the one time, blocked in front. Puanso gets it and will dump this one away. The Vapes has it here for Straikers. For Goons. Gets over to Kriketsi. Talo to Sisu. Shot on the one-timer. A little bit too strong as it goes out of play and all the way around the opposite end. So we'll have a face-off in the offensive zone here for Goons, who have won every face-off so far today, up until now. As Tempinen wins the face-off there with Eki in the box. Keskatalo controls it. Goes over to Katalo, pass across, shot on, they score! Kriketsi! Over to Keskatalo, who gets it for a 2-goal advantage once again. And another X-Factor coming into play as well to make it snappy. We saw the close quarters paid dividends on the other side for Puanso. Well, Keskatalo's second goal of the game gets a little X-Factor help as well. So the winger duo of Keskatalo and Kantala once again striking against Straikers. A 3-1 advantage here for Goons and another power play goal. As Kriketsi holds on to it, but lost it quickly as Eki has it. Gives it to Tempinen. Tempinen with control. Shot on. Glove save made by Tumaklastia, who will hold on for the stoppage. That's a zone face-off here for Straikers. B to the left side of Tumakalostia. Tie up. Battle for it. Picked up by Eki. Guanzo gets it. Backhand. Couldn't sneak it past Tumakalostia, but a penalty in front going to be called against Eki. So Eki going to the box for the second time in around 5 minutes. As it was at the end of this play here, Eki trying to battle for that puck in front, maybe hoping it was loose. Draws an interference, and now Goons, who are already 2 for 2 on the power play in this game, get a third opportunity to extend their lead further. Guanzo will get it on the face-off window, will dump it out immediately. Ketsi holds it. King of Apes gets Katala. Back to Ketsi, shot on, blocked in front. Nice play there made by Tempany to get a body on it. Stelia trying to dump this one away as Sisu gets control of it momentarily, but finds the way to the opposite end. Kantala will give it over to Sisu. Now the King of Apes, now Kaketsi is he's called off sides against Goons with 5 minutes and 10 seconds remaining. A 2-goal lead here for Goons, who have to win this game, you have to assume, to keep their playoff hopes alive. Obviously, that is not mathematic with Goons having so many games in hand, but nevertheless, you assume that the teams behind them going to get points. And they're already behind the Blackjacks for that 8th spot as well. So Goons in pretty much a must-win situation here for their playoff chances. As Eki now out of the box, the Straikers will successfully kill off the penalty. Still down by 2, however, so a lot of work to be done here. Straikers holds on. Puanto with a move. Tries to cut to the right side, but it's poke checked away, but Puanto gets it back. Holds to the right corner. Pass across in front. Eki with the shot on, but it goes wide. Here comes Straikers trying to respond. 2 minutes remaining here in the first period as Stelia controls it. Finds the way over to Tempany. And the flyer Kungan to Eki over to the left side. Eki down low to Puanzo. Puanzo controlling at the left corner boards. Takes a big hit, but gives it to Stelia after the big hit, and it's turned over. Puanzo had it momentarily, but couldn't hold on. 10 seconds remaining. Straikers trying to get one last charge. Tempany with the right boards. Gives it to Eki. Tries to give it to Stelia, but couldn't hold on to it. And a power play once again for Goons. And who else? It's Eki once again going to the box. Uncharacteristic penalties here for Eki. You know, draw it to bad luck, draw it to uncharacteristicness, but yeah, just the hit in front there. Didn't even have the puck. So Eki going to go to the box. And Goons will end this period and go into the second with a power play chance as Tempany will win the face-off, but it's all academic. And we will reach the end of the first period as Goons with a 2-goal advantage. 2 power play goals and a breakaway. As Keskatalo with 2 of the goals, Kantala with the other. Let's just take a look here at some of the stats here for these two sides as we load in. Shots and the time of attack surprisingly in the advantage of Straikers despite 3 power plays for Goons. But once again, it's just been Goons have taken advantage of their chances. It feels like the opposite of game 1 where they had opportunities, they had chances, but just were not able to capitalize. This game, they're having opportunities, they're having chances, and they are taking advantage of them. So give a lot of credit there to Goons stepping up here in this game. As Eki going to the box, who came in with 20 penalty minutes, that leads all skaters for Straikers, but not often we see him take this many. Goons going to have to try to take advantage here as they win the face-off here to start the second period. You see both lineups on the bottom left and right-hand corners of your screen. King of Apes controls it. Goes over to Sisu. Sisu at the point back to King of Apes. Pass across. One-time shot saved by Sibelius. Dumped away and cleared out by Flyer Kungen. 50 seconds left on the Goons power play. Sisu speeds his way past the blue line, but it's poke checked away and turned over. Here comes Puanso with speed. Puanso, spin move, tried to get it on the backhand, but it's poked away by Sisu. And here comes Kontala with speed. Kontala tried to pass it across, but it's poke checked away by Flyer Kungen. Battle for behind the net, and it's picked up by Straikers. Has Eki out of the box. Breakaway, oh, but he's caught up by Sisu. What a play there from Sisu to deny him of the break. Straikers with possession, however. Puanso shot on. Poked away before he can get it off. Goons will pick it up, and Sisu will control it. Turned over and picked up by Straikers. It's offsides. With 15:50 to play, a flurry of chances there for Straikers, but not able to find the goal. Face off won by Straikers in the neutral zone. Flyer controls it. Gives it to Tempinen. Tempinen passes it down low, but it's picked up by Sisu after a funny bounce off the boards. Keskatalo gets it. Turned over after the pass, but bumped off of it there as Kirketsi gives it over to Kontalo. Oh, couldn't get that shot off cleanly. Kontala dangerous with the puck on his stick, as we mentioned. 30 goals so far this season, leads the elite division. So as the left corner boards, finds Tempinen, but he's bumped off after the hit. 28th hit of the game by Goons. They surpassed 50 in the last game. Tempinen has it. Passes it back over to Flyer Kungen, back to Tempinen. Puck loose behind the net. As it's picked up there by Tuma Kalastia, who will hold on, stop play for a whistle. Has the shot on after the play from Eki, not taken too kindly there by a few of the Goons players. Eki would have to be careful. Don't want to get another penalty. Obviously, he's taken 3 already in this game. Face off in the Straikers offensive zone, won by Eki, but finds his way to the neutral zone. Tempinen skates it in past the blue line back into the offensive zone for Straikers. Turned over as Sisu gets it. Escatalo. Kirketsi. King of Apes now. Skates in. King of Apes shot on. Pines his way in the net. King of Apes pushes the issue himself. Charges the net. Gets a bounce. And extends the Goons lead to 3. As you get a look at a replay, how this went in as just a second chance look, it looks like. Just kind of tapped that in the second time around after the original save by Sibelius. And Goons, maybe to the surprise of some, up 4-1 in the second period, halfway through this game. So King of Apes with the goal. Makes it a 4-1 score. Straikers looking to respond. Here's Eki with it. Hope checked away there. King of Apes with his 6th goal of the season right there. Another chance there for Goons, but saved by Sibelius. Here comes Straikers on the other end. Puck loose over in the left corner boards. Picked up by Flyer Kungen. But here we go. Breakaway for King of Apes. One-on-one Sibelius. Backhand save made by Sibelius. Robbed him clean. Goons still with possession. Kontala got the pass across there. Tried to find King of Apes again, but the pass wasn't clean. Also holds it here at the left corner boards. Gives it over to Tempinen. Tempinen tried to bring it back to the point, but nobody was home. A miscommunication between him and Nasvistelia. Straikers gets it back. 5.5 to play. Straikers down by 3. Have to get things going here soon to mount a comeback. Turned over and picked up by Kirketsi. Kontala. Brought that puck over to the net. It was brushed away cleanly by Sibelius, and here comes Eki on the other end. Eki shot on. Rebound chance from Tempinen. Save made by Tumaklastia. Here comes Goons on the other end. Kontala has possession, but it's turned over almost immediately there as Flyer Kungen gives it up to Puanso. Turned over there as the poke check from King of Apes. It's seeked back there by Straikers. Tempinen at the right boards. Holds it, tried to give it a crossover to Nasvistelia. Over to Puanso, but he couldn't get it to him cleanly. Battle forward at the left corner board, picked up by Kontala. Shot on, save made by Sibelius. Goons still has it. Puck loose in front, but it's picked up by Nasastelia. As here comes Nasastelia up the left boards with a minute to play. Eki has it. Down to Tempinen, shot on. Glove saved by Tuma Kalastia. He will hold on to it for a stoppage with 21.2 remaining. As we will get a face-off in the offensive zone here for Straikers. Tied up. Won by Puazzo. Passed across. Couldn't find his man cleanly. Puck loose and is found by Kescatalo. And it will be dumped away. And that will do it for the second period. Goons up 4-1 after 40 minutes. As you saw the stat there, I mean, just unreal. 21 hits so far for Kescatalo, as he also has a pair of goals here so far in this game. The other goals from Kantala and King of Apes. As you take a look at the stats there, Goons leading in the shots department 12-8, despite having a minute and a half left of time on attack. 2 for 4 on the power play right now, Goons. That's really been where the difference has been on special teams. Goons able to get those 2 special teams goals in the power play from Kescatalo, and that really is what charged the momentum here in this game, able to draw penalties and take advantage of them on the power play. But still 20 minutes of action here to go, and Straikers, a team that can score aplenty. This is a team that, as I mentioned, one of the highest goal-scoring teams in the league coming into this game, 3rd in goals for per game. As a penalty going to be taken by Goons, and a power play upcoming here for Straikers. So exactly what the doctor ordered, as Kantala will sit in the box here for interference for 2 minutes. So get a look at the replay there, and yeah, no doubt about that one. Definitely an interference call. So here we go. Face off in the offensive zone for Straikers. It's won by Goons in the defensive zone. Sisu accidentally shot on the side of his own net. It gives Straikers an extra possession. He tried to clear. Puanso has it. Tried to give it over to Tempinen. Shot on, couldn't go. He holds at the point. It's Tempinen. Shot on from the right. Face-off circle. Save made. Another chance here potentially for Straikers as they hold on to possession. Eki gets a hit there at the point as the puck is found here by King of Apes. A breakaway. King of Apes forehand save made potentially. Also might have been poked there from behind by a defender of Straikers. Eki has it over at the left board. Gives it over to Nasastelia from behind the net. Holds it. Looking for space. Looking for an option. And he finds Flyer Coogan behind him. Has it at the right corner boards. Gives it to Tempinen. Tempinen skates in the middle but couldn't find anything as Sisu will dump it in. As Kantala is out of the box and gets it. Finds his way to Straikers. Here's Puanso, a 3-on-2 turning into a 4-on-3. Pass to Tempinen. Loose in front. Picked up by Sisu. Slaps this one away. Picked up cleanly by Krikesi. Pass across! Pass! Saved by Sibelius! Oh, that could have been the dagger for Goons, but Sibelius slides over and gets that left toe on it. Can Straikers thank him with a goal? Eki holds it at the left corner boards and reverses it back to the point. Puanzo shot on, blocked in front. Picked back up by Eki, who tries to give it to the point, but the pass is off target, and it'll be picked up by Sibelius, and Straikers will have to reset. Nasastelia to Puanzo. Now passing to Nasastelia at the point, but it's turned over, and here comes Kriketsi for Goons. Stops, goes shot on, potential rebound, but nobody home for it. Goons gets it back in the neutral zone. Dumped in by Kriketsi, even chased and found by Kantala. Finds his way over, one-time shot. Save made there as King of Apes had a chance. Tempinen gets it past the blue line, but it's offsides. So some action there from both ends of the ice. A couple of chances for Straikers, a couple of chances for Goons, but the score remains the same, a 4-1 Goons advantage. Guys, make sure you stick with us after this game. We'll have a pair of matchups between Polski boys and Vesa Pompa after this. Straikers Controlling the offensive zone, but it's turned over. King of Apes has him, gets it to Kriketsi. Kriketsi, poke checked away, but finds Keskatalo shot on. Save made by the goaltender here as Sibelius was able to get it. And finds his way back to Straikers. So holds it. Loses control as Kriketsi gets in the neutral zone. Sisu. Poke checked away. Zeki has it. Gives it over Nasistelia. He gets it back after the quick poke check. Finds his way to Flyer Kungan, down to Nasistelia. Celia shot on, blocked in front, picked up by Temperton, battle for the left corner board, and it's picked up by Nasistelia again. Shot on from Flyer Kungan. Quick shot there. That save made there for Goons. Another save made there. The Strikers starting to push. They get full pressure now. Buck loose as King of Apes gets it and gives it over to Kantala, who has a deep move, has another one, shot on, save made from Sibelius. Oh, that would have been a highlight reel play from Kantala. King of Apes controls it. Turned over and picked up by Eki. Eki holds on to it. Finds his man down low there in Puanzo. Time running thin here for Strikers to find some momentum as offsides called with 4:28 to play here in this one. Take a look at the shots there. 20-12 in favor of Goons. A completely different game here in game number 2 compared to game 1. Stelia holds a backhand shot. Easy save made from Tuma Kalastia. King of Apes gets it out. Over to Sisu behind the net. Get it out of the offensive zone for now, but back in his Strikers after the turnover. Now Stelia controlled it for a second, but bumped off of it by Sisu. And here comes Kriketsi. Delayed penalty on Strikers. Slap shot goes wide as puck will go all the way around the opposite end as Tubukalastia will bring out the extra attacker. Gives it over. Kantala backhand save made originally, but King of Apes comes in on cleanup duty and puts it in. A 5-1 Goons advantage, and if there was any doubt, that should put it to rest. The second goal of the game for King of Apes. And how about the goaltender and Tuma Kalasia pulling the goalie there for the extra attacker? He gets an assist on that play. Got the pass over to Kantala. Had a breakaway, backhand save was made by Sibelius, but King of Apes able to push the issue in front. Cleans it up. Sibelius not able to get there as he was in that spread eagle animation. And it looks like there was another penalty there in that sequence somewhere because a power play here for Goons after the goal. All academic here. It's not going to matter too much as Kriketsi pass across there. Tried to maybe extend that lead even further. Palazzo holds it. Pass it to left boards and turns it over. Dumped away there for Strikers and clear. 20 seconds left. Kriketsi. Nice move put on. Gets to Keskatalo. Battle for the corner board. Finds his way over, but is dumped away there from Strikers, who has a chance here, but a penalty going to be called there. Could have been one last potential scoring opportunity, but Temperton going to go to the box here to watch the rest of this one. Interference going to be the call. I'll be honest, not sure where I see the interference call, but nevertheless, not going to matter too much in terms of the end result. Face off to the right side, Sibelius. 5-on-3 here for Goons. Face off won by Eki. Slap shot away. And that will do it. Goons with a well-coordinated response. A 5-1 victory over the #1 team in the Elite Division in Strikers. Two teams split 3 points apiece. They both would have wanted more, but they'll both take what they got. And for Goons, that is a win that keeps their playoff hopes at least on life support. The chances of them getting in, probably not likely when you do the math, but nevertheless, if a few results go their way and they find their way in, this could very well be the win that you look back on and say, this is what got Goons on the right side of the top 8. And, you know, you go back to that game one, we mentioned it, Goons did not play poorly whatsoever. Probably some of their best form that we've seen here over the last few weeks. Just were not able to get the goal scoring they needed. Lost 2-1 in that game, but boy, plenty of goal support here from this one. And how about Tuma Kalastia as well? A stellar performance from him. A 93 save percentage, 13 saves on 14 total shots. And you saw that number there, right there. Keskatalo, 35 hits in this game. You did not hear that incorrectly. You did not read that incorrectly. A 35 hit performance for Keskatalo there in game number 2. As you get a look at the goals there, as really the momentum shifted and kicked off there after the power play goal from Goons to make it 1-0, followed by a breakaway there from Kontala. Just a few minutes after that, make it 2-0, and you thought maybe Straikers were going to have a response as a beautiful setup, Tempinen to Eki, to Puanso, who finished off the goal. A little tic-tac-toe there between the three forwards, made it 2-1, but another penalty taken there from Straikers led to another power play goal, and it was all Goons from that point forward. King of Apes driving the net there. Sibelius, a nice effort on the first save, but King of Apes following through on the second chance, getting his own rebound and potting that one in. And this goal right here, the fifth and final, that really was just a pad on when you go back and look at it, but nevertheless, Goons with an emphatic victory, 5-1 over Straikers, and a few teams behind Straikers in the standings going to be very thankful to Goons for that result, specifically Tunnel Vision, who currently sit at that number 2 spot behind Straikers in the standings, as well as Vedoquitan and Esports, who sit behind them as well. So a massive result there for a couple of the teams behind them. Unwanted also going to be very thankful for that result potentially. Bjorklov and Esports, Exen, all going to be potentially thankful for that result. All of those teams still potentially in the hunt there for that number 1 spot, as well as Torrent, who currently has 40 points and has only played 20 games, the least amount of games played of anyone in the top 8, as Straikers and Goons split the series 1 apiece. 3 points for each of those two sides. But now we put that one to bed and we get ready for the next series between two teams that are looking to get on the right side of not just the playoff picture, but the relegation zone picture. Vesa, Pompa, and Polski boys, number 12 and number 13, coming into this matchup. Massive implications here in this series upcoming. But first, we're going to collect ourselves. We're going to get things ready here for that next series. We're going to take a short break, but do not go anywhere. Vesa, Pompa, and Polski boys on the other side. Brandon B. Major Bigsby with you. A big thank you to our sponsor in COVID on Locracy for their amazing support. Do not go away. We have got fun action on the other side. We'll be right back after the short break.
Minkä päällä lakukastike maistuu parhaalta? Ei voi tietää, ellei kokeile. Kouvolan lakritsi. Minkä päällä lakukastike maistuu parhaalta? Ei voi tietää, ellei kokeile. Kouvolan lakritsi.
Welcome back, and thank you for sticking with us. ECL Elite Division action here in week number 4. Crazy to say that it's already week number 4. It feels like we just started, but we're getting closer and closer to playoff time, ladies and gentlemen. And speaking of playoff time, these are two teams looking to not just get on the right side of that playoff line, but looking to get on the right side of the relegation zone line, as number 12, Vesa Pompa versus number 13, Polski boys. Remember, 13 through 15 have to go through the relegation series at the end of the season against the 3 remaining pro teams that did not win the championship. So that is a massive, massive battle here. As we take a quick look at the standings, you will see exactly what we were talking about. Vesa Pompa currently tied with Polski boys in terms of points. The only thing that's giving them that advantage right now is the tiebreaker, but Vesa Pompa also does have games in hand, not just over Polski boys, but over every single team in the league. That's why we say they're not out of the playoff hunt just yet. You saw GOONS just drop 3 points earlier in game number 1. They did win game 2. Nevertheless, Vesa Pompa, 10 games over them. You get 3 points for each of your wins. All of a sudden, Vesa Pompa is looking well on the left side of that board if they can find something to go here. And for Polski boys, the chances of them making it a little bit slimmer, but still not out of the question. A team that a lot of people had high expectations for. They were able to make it outside of the relegation zone last year, did not make the playoffs. People expected this team to take a step forward after making their Elite Division debut last season, coming off an ECL Pro Championship. Unfortunately, have not been able to take that next step up. Right now, trying to avoid being that 13, 14, 15, or even potentially 16 seed, as you still have Jaimo, Gotham Knights, and Renascore right behind them with the same amount of games or games in hand. Let's take a quick look here at the team matchup here between these two sides, and really pretty even throughout the board. The only thing that's really been a big difference between these two teams is the goals against. Polski boys with 59 goals against compared to Vesa Pompa's 46. And you have to remember something, Polski boys have played more games than Vesa Pompa, 4 more games. So that stat skewed just a little bit. And it's been surprising to not see the Polski boys have a little bit more production on the offensive end. Second lowest goals for per game in the league, only ahead of Renascore. And for Vesa Pompa, kind of the same thing. I mean, they haven't been bad offensively. They're 10th in goals for per game, but still with some of the names that we will go through, it's going to be interesting here to see if they can step that up, because this is a team that in the past has been very, very good offensively, made the semifinals a season ago. So kind of surprising to see them in this position. Take a quick look at the lineups here for both of these two teams. You'll see a lot of familiar names here for both Vesa Pompa and Polski boys. As you mentioned, two teams that were in the ECL Elite Division last season. We'll start out with Vesa Pompa on the left side. The 3-4, it's Anton Zuvi and Antonio Manin. While back at the fence is Papin and Ekin at right D. And in between the pipes will be Kosti, while on the right side for Polski boys, JM, Brakella, and Saski are the trio of forwards, while back on defense will be Kukankira and Voti, and the goaltender, Winchester. In between the pipes, a lot of that ECL Pro Championships team from the spring 23 season still on this Polski boys roster, ready to go here against Vesa Pompa. As you look at the center matchup here, Zuvi and Brakella, very even really across the board. Not a lot separating these two sides. Zuvi with a slight advantage in assists, while Brakella with a slight advantage in goals. Obviously, Brakella with more games played, but nevertheless, Zuvi, one of the more underrated centers, I think, and one of the more underrated forwards that I think that you will find really throughout Europe, not just on 6v6, but on the 1v1 side as well. I've had the pleasure of calling his games on both ends of that spectrum, and he's just a guy that when the puck is on his stick, good things tend to happen. It's going to be interesting to see him and Brakella match up against one another, because Brakella is a guy that also has been rather solid here for this Polski boys team throughout their tenure here in the ECL. Was a massive piece of that pro championship team. As we mentioned, he is the captain of this Polski boys squad. Came off of a solid 33-point season last year, looking to step up a little bit this season. See if you can make it happen here against one of the better centers in the elite division. And they're going to need some support from their wingers. And we'll take a look at the wingers here for both of these two teams. As Vesa Pompa with Anton and Antonio Manin, Polski boys with JM and Saski. And Anton, 16 goals, 83 shots. Antonio Manin, 10 goals, 91 shots. These are two guys that are always dangerous with the puck on their stick. And I think that is what makes what makes Vesa Pompa so good, is that they have so many guys throughout the lineup that can put the puck in the net. It's not just one or two guys that can do it. Really, everyone in the lineup is a threat with the puck on their stick. So it's going to be interesting to see how they spread the love here in this game. And then for Polski boys, JM, who has been, one of the more underrated goal scorers, in my opinion, over the last couple of seasons. Was great in pro, had a solid year last year, 13 goals so far this season. His 22 games played also has laid the body around a little bit there with 138 hits. And Saski over to his right side. He's been the setup man with 15 assists in his 22 games played. Going to be fun to see which of them step up against this really good, proven Vesa Pompa side. As we will transition over to the defensive matchups here for these two teams, Papin and Ekin for Vesa Pompa, Kugankira and Voti for Polski boys. And Papin, he has really been the one that has stepped up in terms of making plays. 15 assists in his 18 games played so far in this season for Vesa Pompa. And Ekin not too far behind him. Ekin, a guy that's been known typically as a forward, moving back to defense this season. 18 games played. He has 12 points so far. He's really been good on the defensive end. 21 blocked shots so far, but nowhere close really to Voti, who has 34 shots blocked, and that's no slight on Ekin. Very, very good this season. Just goes to show you what Voti has been able to do on that opposite side defensively here for Polski boys. We're doing a good job at blocking the lanes, which is going to be a key factor here against a Vesa Pompa side that can't put the puck on net a good bit. A team that doesn't have the most shots on net of all the teams in the league, but 297 so far in their 18 games played, so they're definitely a threat. Going to be something to look out for as Voti getting in between those passing lanes and those shooting lanes. As one last look here at these matchups, and it'll be transitioned over to the goalies. And you want to talk about as even as it gets, Kosti and Winchester about as even as they come, both at an 80 save percentage, 80.7 for Winchester and 80.3 for Kosti. Goals against average, pretty much even as well. A 2.56 for Kosti, a 2.83 for Winchester, and Winchester with 2 shutouts, Kosti with 3. So really the only difference between these two has been the results. 8 wins for Kosti, while just 4 for Winchester. So that's really the only thing that we've seen. And really it's going to be interesting to see what goes on in this game, because these two goalies, both are guys that can step up and stay on their heads when needs be. So we'll see who's able to step up in this one. As these two teams are ready to go, you guys seem to think Vesa Pompa is going to win this one. A 59% vote towards Vesa Pompa compared to 41% for Polski boys, as we are underway here for game number 1 of this series. Game number 3. 4 games here tonight as Vesa Pompa, we are looking at their perspective. They currently have control of the puck as Papin tries to bring it past the blue line. Turned over there as there's Voti, someone we mentioned to look out for, but it's turned over immediately as Papin gets it. Papin passes it to himself off the boards and tries to go back down low, but it's picked off by Kugankira. Voti over to Brakella, over to Saski, as you can see the lineups for both sides over on the bottom left and right-hand corner of your screens. Brakella holds it. Up to the point to Saski, tried to pass it back to him, but it's turned over. Zuvi to Antonio Manin at the right side. Goes it right corner board, gives it back up to the point. Back to Antonio Manin. Goes at the right corner. Shot on the one-timer, and he scores! Anton on the one-timer gives Vesa Pompa a 1-0 lead early. And how about the shot there from Anton? Off the one-timer is Winchester just not able to do anything with it because of that 1T ability. We all know how lethal that is here in this game. And Anton, perfect position, beautiful passing there set up by Vesa Pompa to get that play off, and gives him a quick 1-0 lead here early in this game, just 5 minutes in. Polski boys looking for a response. Sasky on a breakaway, one-on-one backhand, and he scores! Sasky beats Kosti, and just like that, the Polski boys tie this one up. Holding it backhand to beat Kosti, as the turnover and the defensive breakdown there for Vesa Pompa leads to the goal. And boy, if you got up and got a drink or a snack, I'm sorry, but you've missed two high action octane possessions that have led to goals. Not even 6 minutes in, and both teams have found the score sheet 1-1. 14 minutes and 10 seconds to play, as an offside is going to be called against Polski boys. As we will collect our breath here for a second, as yeah, both of these two teams just right out the gates, wasting no time here in this one. Vesa Pompa wins the face-off, gets into the offensive zone. Zuvi with the shot on, save made by Winchester. Puck finds its way to the neutral zone, and Papin will pick it up here for Vesa Pompa. Gets past the blue line. Papin holds it at the left corner board. Back to the point, over to Anton. Shot on from the right point, save made by Winchester. Puck battled for over at the right boards, is picked up by JM for Polski boys. JM, pass over in the middle, won't be picked up. Papin will take it here for Vesa Pompa. Now work it in past the neutral zone. Papin at the left boards. Holding it, tried to pass it in front, but it's picked off and away, but Papin gets it back. Over at the left point, looking for space. Gives it over, shot on from Ekins. Save made in the glove of Winchester, and he'll freeze it here for stoppage. Halfway through this first period, there have been no shortage of opportunities here for these two teams so far. Face off to the left. By Polski boys. Turned over, however, as Vesa Pompa will get it back. Ekin to Zuvi. Zuvi at the right corner, trying to find space, but a nice defensive play there made by Brockella, but it's turned over. Antonio Modin has it. Gives it up to Ekin at the right point. Ekin stops, gives it back to Modin, over to Anton. Ooh, shot on, save made by Winchester. But Anton Lund gets it back. Papin holds it, pass across, picked off by Brockella. Nice job. Papin goes over to Ekin to control it, works it past the blue line. Back to Antonio Modin. Antonio Modin holding it, shot on from an odd angle, save made by Winchester as Papin gets it back here for Vesa Pompa. Shot on from the point, another save made by Winchester. Cody holds on, but it's turned over as Anton gets it, and it's full pressure here for Vesa Pompa. 5 minutes to play here in period number one. Shot on, blocked in front there by Polski boys, and here comes Sasky. Big hit put on there by Ekin. Antonio Modin has it for Vesa Pompa, controlling it in the offensive zone. Antonio Modin had it for just a second, but it was turned over as Kukinkira will get it and will dump this all the way to the opposite end. Icing will not be called. Vesa Pompa forced to reset. Anton over the left boards, turned over, and here comes JM. 1-on-2. JM not able to work his way past the defense, but the puck picked up behind him by Brockella. Modi gets it. Down low, JM wrap around. Save made by Kosti, and he'll hold on for a stoppage. All knotted up here still with 1:22 to play here in period number one. Face-off tie-up, won by Vesa Pompa in the defensive zone. Antonio Modin has it. Gets it down low. Brings it around the boards, finds his way into the neutral zone, forcing Vesa Pompa to reset once again, but it's turned over. Vodi has it for Polski boys. But Windmill D can't get it. Turned over, and here comes Anton on a breakaway. Anton moves it, can't get the shot off. Didn't have the energy to really pull away from the defense of Polski boys. And that is how the first period will end. So we end tied at 1. Plenty of chances here for both sides. As you see the opening goal of the game there, Anton on the one-timer for Vesa Pompa. But not too long after, Polski boys able to capitalize on the breakaway from Sasky. Make this a 1-1 game after the first 20 minutes. Fun action here between these two sides. As you get a look here at the stats, and it has been all Vesa Pompa here so far in this game. Polski boys with 1 shot on net. It was the breakaway goal, just 48 seconds time on attack. Well, Vesa Pompa, 5 minutes of possession time already in the offensive zone, 7 shots on net. They have been serving it up, but they have got to find a way to find the puck in the net here. It's great to have those chances. It's great to have that zone time. It doesn't matter if you're not able to find your way to some more goals. Gotta feel like they deserve a better result here than what they currently have, but still a lot of time left here to add on to the score sheet as we are underway here in the second period. Polski boys will have possession as Brody controls and gives up to JM. Try to get it back up to the point, but it's poke checked away and all the way back into the opposite end for the icing. So we'll get an offensive zone face-off here for Polski boys. Face off to the left side of Kosti. Won by Polski boys. Shot on from Kira from the point, blocked in front. As here comes Zuvi. Splits the defender. Shot on, saved by Winchester. Puck still loose, is picked up by Papin in the offensive zone. Anton shot on, blocked by Kira. We get out of the offensive zone here as JM holds it, and a penalty going to be called against Vesa Pompa. So an elbowing call here going to go against Vesa Pompa. And it will be Antonio Madden going to the box. A power play chance here for Polski boys, looking to take their first lead of this game. And they win the offensive zone faceoff. Vody tried to get it over down low, but he couldn't find him in time. Vesa Pompa trying to control it and make a little power kill, but they turn it over. Polski boys 15.6% on the power play so far this season. Kira shot on over after the one-timer. Save made. Vesa Pompa couldn't get possession as Brockella holds on to it. 50 seconds to go on the power play. Turned over as Zuvi gets it. Holds it and will dump this one and clear it. 30 seconds now on the Polski boys power play. Vesa Pompa just 66.67% on the PK, so weakness versus a weakness here. JM holds it. Gives it to Kira at the point. Spins and loses possession of it as that will do it for the Polski boys power play. So a rather uneventful power play there for Polski boys. They do have possession here. Sasky turns it over but gets it to Brockella. Lost the puck almost immediately as here comes Zuvi. Over to Antonio Madden. Antonio Madden throws it back over to Ekin, who just came out of the box. Now to Papin. Back to Ekin. Over at the right point. Shot on. Blocked in front by Kira. Who will take possession for Polski boys and give it up to Vody. Nice saucer pass, banks it off to Sasky on the board, shot on, puck loose in front. Sasky gets it back, however, and goes over to the left quarter boards. Puck thrown down low, but picked off by Vesa Pompa. Papin controls it. Almost halfway through game number 1 between these two sides, still knotted up at 1 apiece. These teams 12th and 13th in the standings, tied at 23 points. Jam shot on, blocker save, puck loose as Kosti able to get to it. He'll hold on for the stoppage. Dangerous there almost for Vesa Pompa. Face off to the right side of Kosti. 6-3 in favor of the Polski boys at the face-off circle, and they'll win a 7th. Sasky gets it, holds it at the right corner board, and gives it over to JM. Not able to hold on to it as it will be cleared out by Vesa Pompa, and Winchester will play this. So he has it now. Slaps it around, giving chase. Picked up by Kira, who goes down to JM at the corner board. The Brockella shot from the high slot won't be on net. It's blocked in front. Anton gets it, holds it. Can't find anything there, trying to work his way towards the middle. Nice defense there from Polski boys. These two teams starting to shore things up a little bit defensively here in the second period. 7 minutes to play. Antonio Manning controls it for Vesa Pompa. In the middle of the neutral zone, stops, gets it past the blue line, but tried to pass it backwards and crossed over into the neutral zone, so Vesa Pompa forced to reset. Papine has it, loses control. Polski Boys gets to it as Brockella controls it now for Polski Boys. 5 minutes left here in the second period. Saski has it, backhand shot on. Easy save made from Kosti, and he'll hold on for the stop. As you get a look there at the time on attack difference, Polski Boys have had a bit of an advantage in time on attack here in the second period, but still getting outworked here throughout the totality of the game. It's a shot on save from Kosti, and Vesa Pompa going to try to work this out of the defensive zone. They do so. Papine controls it. It's to Ekin. Antonio Manan shot on, save made by Winchester, but Vesa Pompa still controls the possession. Anton gets it. Zuvi loses control and gives it up to Kugan Kira, who gives it up to Brockella. Vodi, pass across, picked up there from Ekin. Nice job defensively for Vesa Pompa. A minute and a half to play here. It'll be a fast minute here in the second period, so more like 40 seconds left here for both of these two sides. Brockella has it. Oh, he had to pass across, but couldn't find it. Nice pick off there from Vesa Pompa defensively. Antonio Manan controls it. Has it the right boards. Gives it back over to Ekin. Circles around, gives it to Antonio Manan. Slap shot there on the one time from Anton. Doesn't make it over to Winchester as Vodi has it behind the net. Anton controls it. Shot on right as the clock expires. And is saved by Winchester to end the second period. Still tied at 1 apiece. Boy, has it been fun so far between these two sides. Very back and forth. A dominated first period from Vesa Pompa, and that one a little bit more even. You could maybe even say the Polski Boys had a bit of an advantage there in that second period. Got a little bit more of time and attack. Got some opportunities. Had a power play they weren't able to convert on, but nevertheless, very good game here so far between these two teams. As you see the shots, 10-6 in favor of Vesa Pompa. Time of attack, 7 minutes and 20 seconds compared to 3 minutes and change for Polski Boys, and you get the feeling that it's just going to be a matter of who is able to get that one opportunity that they can take advantage of. You can argue the Polski Boys had theirs with the power play, but Vesa Pompa shut that down. In games like this that are so tightly contested, both teams looking for critical points in the standings, it's all about who's able to take advantage of their chances. We are underway here for a massive third period. You see the lines for both sides on the bottom left and right-hand corner of your screen. That pass across over to Saski. Not able to get the shot on, however. Vesa Pompa controls it now in the offensive zone. Antonio Manan has it. Shot on from the high point. Not too dangerous as Polski Boys gets it into the offensive zone. Turned over. Ekin is the Papine. Ekin again. Ekin tried to move it past the blue line, but it's offsides. Face off in the neutral zone. Vesa Pompa controls it. Ekin working his way past the blue line, gives it to Antonio Manan. Antonio Manan back to Ekin. Ekin at the right point, far shot from the high point. Tipped out and away, a delayed penalty called against the Polski Boys. So power play opportunity coming up for Vesa Pompa. We just talked about taking advantage of opportunities. Could this be the one that Vesa Pompa can use to get the lead? It'll be Vodi going to the box there for that hit. Take a look at the power play so far this season for Vesa Pompa. 16%. As it's cleared out of the way by Polski Boys right after the faceoff. Polski Boys a 61.54% penalty kill. So special teams, not these two teams' specialty by any stretch, but trying to take advantage of one here is a one-time shot. Easy glove save made from Winchester, who'll hold on for the stoppage. 14:45 to play here in the third period. Still tied here at 1. Antonio Manin gets it off the face-off of Vesa Pompa. Papin holds it, gives it back to Antonio Manin. Trying to find the pass across, gives it to Anton, who gets a quick shot. Save made from Winchester. Vesa Pompa still in control. Antonio Manin, shot on, pass save made from Winchester. Ruben Kira's going to slap that one away to the opposite end. Is given chase and found by Saski for Polski boys. Going to just dump this one down low to kill off the rest of that power play time, and it's back to 5-on-5 action. Saski gets the Ruben Kira behind him. Puck finds his way to Brockella. Brockella gives it back over to Vodi. 12 minutes left here. Both teams still looking to find that answer to give themselves the lead. Getting closer and closer to that territory to where the next goal could very well be the winner. Antonio Manin holds it, shot on, puck loose in front, battle forward, Anton shot on, Vodi picks it up, Antonio Manin gets it, but couldn't get the pass over to Anton cleanly. Dangerous there for Polski boys, and Vesa Pompa not able to find the back of the net. Saski had it momentarily past the blue line, but it's picked off by Antonio Manin. Brockella gets it, gives it up to Kugan Kira. There's some 10 minutes remaining here in the third period. He controls in the offensive zone, gives it to Saski, goes behind the net, loses it, and it's picked up by Papin for Vesa Pompa. Gives it to Zuvi. Zuvi speeds down the right board, stops and gives it back up to the point to Ekin, back to Zuvi. Zuvi at the corner, back to Ekin behind him. Ekin holds it, looking for a pass, looking for a shot, looking for anything, and he dumps it down low in the right corner board, and Vodi will get hold of it for Polski boys. 7 minutes remaining here in regulation. Papin has in the neutral zone. Holds it, looking for an option, puck loose over at the side, and picked up by Anton, now to Papin. Papin over the right corner boards, gives it up to Zuvi. Zuvi over to Ekin at the right point. Shot on from afar, save made and brushed away there by Winchester, and here comes JM, numbers for Polski boys. JM holds it, gives it to Brockella, back over to JM, a one-time save made there by Kosti. What a play. I'd like to thank Esdor for the party of 13. We appreciate you for the raid. Just now joining us, Polski boys versus Vesa Pompa, tied 1-1 in the third period. These two teams tied for the last spot in the standings to avoid the relegation zone. Vesa Pompa and Polski boys 12 and 13, each with 23 points. We saw Straikers and Goons earlier. Those two teams split. A 2-1 win for Straikers, a 5-1 win for Goons. As a Spinorama shot, another chance. Two saves made from Winchester. Vesa Pompa still holding on. Anton has it. Just over a minute to play. Papin over to Anton, and he scores! Vesa Pompa with the late goal to take the lead! Second goal of the game for Anton! And could it be the winner? Beautiful setup. Beautiful one-timer. Winchester just not able to slide over to that right side to get to it. And just like that, Vesa Pompa, with just 65 seconds to play, take the lead. Can Polski boys find a quick response like they did in the first period? Fast minute here in the third. Papin holds it and gives it up to Ekin. Now to Antonio Manin, as it's offsides, but not going to complain about that with Vesa Pompa. Killing time off. Papin gets it. Turned over, and here comes JM for Polski boys. 15 seconds to play. Do Polski boys have an answer? Vodi shot on, missed the post with the shot! Oh, that was the golden opportunity. Antonio Manin has it here for Vesa Pompa, just killing time, holds it the boards. 5 seconds, last gasp here for Polski boys. 3 seconds, Vodi has to get a shot off, and he won't, and that will do it. Vesa Pompa takes the victory over Polski boys 2-1 in a thrilling contest here in game number 1. What a game and what a finish between two teams that desperately needed the points. As you get a look at the game winner from Anton Lund. Same play as the first goal, but a different side. That one-time shot. And Vesa Pompa get it to go. 3 big points for them in the standings. And remember, Vesa Pompa, they're not just trying to fight to stay out of the relegation zone, but they also are still very well alive in the playoff hunt here in this one. They have 18 games played. Roots Gaming is right ahead of them with 24 games played coming in tonight, which is a 7-point difference. So Vesa Pompa with 2 wins could very well cut that gap to 1 point with 4 games in hand. So the same goes for Purification as well, who has 30 points. Goons ahead of them with 31. So Vesa Pompa, big opportunity here, and they capitalize on it here. Game number 1, as you get a look at the goals, that was the opening goal, but right after, Polski boys with a big response there. Kosti not able to make that save on the breakaway there from Saski. And we went a long time scoreless, over 50 minutes without a goal after 2 goals in the first 6 minutes between these two sides. But that one-time play over to Anton on the left side gave Vesa Pompa the victory. Polski boys had a grand opportunity there late, but it was maybe saved and hit off of the bottom post. We know it hit off of that post there. I wish we could get a replay of that potentially, but it doesn't look like we will be able to, as these 2 teams are ready to go to the next game. And honestly, after that one, I am as well. As we welcome you back into the booth. Brandon B. Mage Bigsby with you as we wrap up a thriller, a 2-1 victory for Vesa Pompa in regulation. We will have one more game here between these two, our last game of our ECL Elite coverage here today. We're going to take a short break and hear a word from our amazing sponsor in COVID Unlockability. But do not go away. I mean, after a game like that, my friends, why would you? We'll be right back here after the break.
Minkä päällä lakukastike maistuu parhaalta? Ei voi tietää, ellei kokeile. Kouvolan lakritsi. Minkä päällä lakukastike maistuu parhaalta? Ei voi tietää, ellei kokeile. Kouvolan lakritsi.
Welcome back as we come out of the break. Once again, thank you to our amazing sponsor in COVID Unlockability for their continued support over the many years here of ECL action. Brandon B. Major Bigsby with you as we get ready for our 4th and final game of the evening. Vesa Pompa versus Polski boys after Vesa Pompa won a thriller 2-1 in regulation over Polski boys. Anton with the goal with just 65 seconds left in the 3rd period. to get that victory. But hey, guys, the 6v6 side, that isn't the only place we have great, thrilling action happening here at SportsGamer GG, as signups are currently up and available for the ECL Spring 24 1v1. You can go to sportsgamer.gg to sign up and see all information you need for that. I'm telling you, it is going to be worth it. I got to call the semifinals and finals for the 1v1 in the spring or winter 24 season. Easily some of the best hockey that you will find in the NHL community. So if you want to participate, if you're thinking about it, make sure you go to sportsgamer.gg. You'll see all the information you need there. ECL 24 Spring 1v1. Like I said, I'm telling you, it is going to be worth it if you're on that European side to want to get involved with that. Going to be a lot of fun, going to be a lot of high-end competition over there as well. As we get things set up here before our next game, we'll take a quick look at the standings here as we have a few results happening around the league, as we just saw Vesa Pompa get a big victory versus Polski boys. That has been put in, so it gives you a quick look at how things are looking. And where you're really going to want to pay attention in terms of this matchup is 9 all the way down to about 14, maybe even 16, really. As you see, Polski boys now 23 games played. They have 23 points. You lose this one, and all of a sudden, things are getting a little bit scary for you. You got Gotham Knights right behind you with 2 games in hand, Hymo right behind you with 2 games in hand, and even more importantly, Renascore behind you with 4 games in hand and just 6 points behind. So this is a very similar situation, it feels like, to what GOONS was in the last game, but for different reasons. GOONS trying to make their way into the playoff hunt. Polski boys trying to make their way out of the relegation series zone. As a Pompa, they are trying to make their way into the playoff hunt. Did some work in doing that in game 1 with 3 points. Hoping to collect 3 more here in our second matchup. It'll be Vesa Pompa, that's the home side. We still view things from their point of view. We are underway here for our final game of tonight's broadcast. You see the lineups for both sides in the bottom left and right-hand corner of your screen as Antonio Manning controls it here for Vesa Pompa. Trying to get that pass across over to Zuvi, but couldn't do so cleanly. Zuvi was a little bit quiet, didn't call his name much in that first game, but nevertheless, puck loose in front and it scores! Polski boys on the second chance look capitalize. JM was the one to put it in, and this time it's Polski boys that strike first early. As an unfortunate animation there for Kosti. But that's why you put shots on net. That right there. You never know what can happen. You never know how you'll get rewarded. And they get rewarded with a juicy rebound, a good chance, and they convert with a goal. A 1-0 lead here for Polski boys early. As during the break, we had a raid from Aziz. We want to thank him for that. Welcome everyone that came in from his stream. Just now joining us, Vesa Pompa won the first match between these two, 2-1. A delayed penalty called against Polski boys, so a power play coming up against Vesa Pompa, or for Vesa Pompa rather. As it will be Vodi that will head to the box. As you look at the penalty there, that hit over on the corner boards was what drew it. Face-off won by Polski boys in the defensive zone. It's cleared out immediately. That's exactly how you want to start the PK right there. Vesa Pompa working it into the offensive zone. Antonio Manin has it. Gives it to Papin. Papin skates in, gives it to Anton. Had both goals for Vesa Pompa in the last game. As puck goes backwards into the neutral zone, so it forces a reset here for Vesa Pompa. 40 seconds left on the power play. Papin over to Antonio Madden. Passed over to the right side as a broken stick there will stop any threat there from Ekin on the one-timer. He'll have to go get a fresh one and pretty much kill off any chance on the power play. Vesa Pompa had a scoring as Vodi comes out of the box and makes it even strength here for Polski boys. Jam controls it. Finds his way over to Vodi. Back over to JM. Past the blue line. Shot on. Rebound chance. Oh, he overskated it. That was a perfect opportunity for Sasky to extend the lead. Bookmark that one if Polski boys aren't able to find the 2-0 lead. JM controls it here for Polski boys. 12 minutes to go here in the opening frame. Cody has it, pass Brockella, spins, shot on, goes wide, hits the glass, and will find its way over to Vesa Pompa. Zuvi will work this up. It's the Papine, now over to Anton. Anton lost possession. He was bumped from behind. It's a big hit from Kukinkira, but it still finds its way over to Polski boys. Here comes JM, using the speed, gets past the defender, pass across, and they score! Brockella with the finish. A 2-0 lead for Polski boys. And now all of a sudden, the momentum feels like it has been all in favor of the Polski boys. They kill off that penalty. They go in on the other side, get a quick chance on that cross crease play. Kosti not able to get there, and that's a Pompa now on their heels a little bit. So now how does Vesa Pompa respond? Anton has it. Tried to get that pass across, but couldn't find anything. Bean controls it here for Vesa Pompa. More than halfway through this first period. Polski boys in control early, a 2-goal lead. Papine, the high left face also gives over to Anton, one-timer, save made by Winchester. He'll go ahead and play this out. JM has it. JM past the blue line. Gives it over, finds a way to Saski in front, but could not get a shot off. As here comes Vesa Pompa on the other end. Anton has it, tried to pass it across, but it's defended well by Polski boys as Saski controls it. And work it back to Kukinkira. Back over to Vodi behind him. Vodi couldn't keep control of it. Saski now has it here for Polski boys. Kukinkira back to Brockella, back to Vodi, back to Kukinkira. Over at the left boards. Right side of our screen as we look at the perspective of Vesa Pompa. Pass from behind the net. Wraparound wasn't on net. JM gets it back here after the slap shot goes behind the net. Vodi slap shot in front, save made. JM gets it back here for Polski boys. On to it there, but the puck trickles its way in the neutral zone. As Anton had it for a moment, but couldn't hold on to it enough to get a chance. Brockella to Saski. Saski tried to get a quick chance on net, but couldn't do so cleanly. Here comes Antonio Mountain. Antonio Mountain has it. Goes down to Zuvi. Zuvi to Anton. Shot on. Blocker save made by Winchester. Puck still loose. Vesa Pompa gets it. Papine trying to hit the one-time pass over to Zuvi, but a nice defensive play made by Polski boys to break it up. 1 minute to play here in the opening period. Polski boys up by 2, looking for another chance, but a pad save made by Kosti denies them of the 3-goal lead. Vesa Pompa trying to counter, but can't find anything. Puck loose, battle for the neutral zone. Brockella gets it. Here comes Brockella, 4 seconds backhand. Can't get it on net. Puck behind the netting. It will wind down the clock here to end the first period. And it's all Polski boys here so far. A 2-goal lead. Vesa Pompa with a couple of chances there late, but nothing that finds the back of the net. As the Polski boys lead 2-0 there after the first 20 minutes. And as we mentioned, this is a big game for them considering the standings that we took a look at before we got into this one. On the wrong side of the relegation zone cut line, the C's that are ranked 13th, 14th, and 15th have to face off against the 3 remaining Pro Division teams at the end of the season to keep their spot in the Elite Division. That is not what you want to be in here if you are in the Elite Division. You want to clinch that automatic berth into the league next season. Polski boys were able to do that last year. We are underway here for the second period. Polski boys has possession as Saski tried to pass that across, but it's picked off cleanly there by Vesa Pompa. Antonio Madden has it. Shot on, save made by Winchester. Puck loose under his padding. And he's able to find it and hold on for a whistle. A dangerous moment there for Polski boys. Vesa Pompa trying to find themselves a little bit of momentum here. Face off to the left side of Winchester. Tie up, won by Polski boys. Kira. He was trying to pass that across, but goes to the opposite end. No icing. It's Pompa with possession. Ekin dumps that in, giving chase, and Vodi will get it here for Polski boys. Kira now has it. Skates it past the blue line, tried to pass it across, but well covered there from Vesa Pompa's defenders. As Papine will get it, and will move this in the neutral zone. Tried to hit Anton on the pass, can't get it to him, but goes around the boards and finds his way over to Vesa Pompa anyways. Zuvi in control. Anton has it behind the netting, gives it up over to Ekin at the point. Ekin holding, looking for space, shot on from the point from Papine, save made, but Vesa Pompa maintains possession. Papine at the left board, shot on, easy block there made by Sasky, and here comes JM for Polski boys. Now to Sasky. Sasky holding it, giving it to JM over to Kira at the point. Kira gives it over to Brockella. Brockella holding, looking for space, looking for an option, gives it up to Kira back at the point behind him. Kira dumps it around, opposite side boards over to Vodi. Vodi has it momentarily, but it's turned over, almost a breakaway, but he couldn't find him on the pass. Wide open was Antonio Mannon. That's a Pompa, missed opportunity there. Found behind the net. Shot on, they score! Brockella! It looked like Kosti had his bearings crossed there. He was holding the right post. The puck found Brockella in front. A wide open, yawning cage, unassisted goal. As you see, that puck just popped out over. Kosti was not ready for that to do that. Thought it was going to go over to the right side. It poked out over to Brockella sitting in front. Wide open net, puts it in. And Polski boys, a 3-goal advantage halfway through this one. Second goal of the game for Brockella. As a Pompa needs a response. Antonio Mannon has it. Gets it down to Anton down low. Oh, he tried to hit Zuvi, but Zuvi was not in position to get a stick to collect that puck. Forced to reset. Ekin skates past the blue line, turns around, gives it up to Antonio. Shot on, and another shot, and they score! Anton Lund once again had both goals in the first game. Gets the first goal for Vesa Pompa in game number 2. Though juicy rebound converts to perfection. Cuts that Polski boys lead down to 2. As you get a look at the replay, and once again, that's why you put shots on net. You never know what can happen. You never know how you can be rewarded. If you put the puck on net, you're in the right position. We saw Polski boys benefited from that earlier. Vesa Pompa benefits from it. Their first goal of the contest. 3-1 now here in favor of Polski boys. As Polski boys has possession. 3-on-3. JM over to Vodi. It's possession, but JM gets it back. And over as Anton gets it, but a nice job there defensively, but it's turned over. Couldn't get the puck on the pass. Antonio Mannon shot on, and they score! Vesa Pompa, welcome back! Back-to-back unanswered goals. And just like that, the lead for Polski boys is trimmed to 1. As you get a look at the replay here, the pass from Zuvi over to Antonio Mannon. Looked like Winchester got a piece of it, but it just trickled through the pads. And in a matter of seconds, he go from 3-0 to 3-2. We've got a game, ladies and gentlemen. Hang tight. Anton had it for just a second, but Polski boys will take it. Kira gets past the blue line, tried to pass it opposite side, but couldn't get it off cleanly. Anton over to Antonio Mannon. Over at the left boards, Antonio cuts inside, trying to find something, but couldn't get a shot off before he's bumped off. The puck was in front. Antonio Mannon with a shot on, but didn't look like he got all of that puck. And here comes JM, 1-on-1. Teammates with him tried to pass it over to one of them, but couldn't hit them in stride. Here comes Anton on the other end. So Pompa had it there, but puck will go all the way down the other end to force a reset. So we will drop that off to Papine like a delivered package, and we'll let him break this in. Ekin over to Zuvi. Zuvi gives it up to the point, back to Ekin. Ekin holding it over to Papine. Papine over to Antonio Mannon, shot on. Blocker save made by Winchester. That's a Pompa still controls. Ekin shot on, blocked in front there by Kira, who will take the puck and will slow things down. Just over a minute to play here in period number 2. Anton gets it. 2-on-2. Now 3-on-2. Pass across, but not able to get it off cleanly there. He was looking for Papine. 20 seconds left. Ekin. Had it for a second. Gets it back, however. Over to Antonio. Shot on. Blocker save made from Winchester on the Anton one-timer. As Polski boys will just hold it, kill off the clock, and that will do it here for the second period. Feels like we have a totally different story here, ladies and gentlemen. Polski boys had a 3-goal lead, but Vesa Pompa with 2 unanswered goals in 3 minutes to make this a 3-2 game. And we've got a story here coming into the third period as you get a look at some of the goals that we got there in period number 2. As now it's the Vesa Pompa goal that gave them that second goal to make it a 1-goal game. You look at the stats, you would assume it would be 3-2 Vesa Pompa. 11 shots compared to just 6 for Polski boys. They've doubled the time on attack of Polski boys as well, but just opportunistic have the Polski boys been so far in this game, and you have to give them the credit for that. They took advantage of their chances. Going to have to continue to do so, however, if they want to bring this one home. Again, they need to find the points to get themselves on the right side of that relegation series cutoff line. The team ahead of them right now is Polski boys. Ahead of them by 3 points. A win from Polski boys would give them 3 points. It would tie them. So massive period here for both of these two sides. So we are underway. As Pompa has it as Antonio Mannon called offsides. To your score here in favor of Polski boys. Face off one, but picked off by Vodi. Way to Brockella, now to Kira. Flying with speed up the left boards. Kira pass across in the middle. Couldn't get it off cleanly, but it's picked up by Vodi. As here comes Vesa Pompa on the other end. Suvi had it. Locked in. Couldn't find any options. He'll just dump that one away, and it was picked off by Polski boys. Kira has it. Pass over to opposite end boards to Saski. Saski holding it, gives it to Vodi at the point. Now to Kira. Shot on. Block made by Papine. There was a little bit of open space there. Brockella gives it down low to JM. Puck battle forward down low. Papine ends up getting a hold of it here for Vesa Pompa. Tried to hit Antonio Mann in his stride, but a nice defensive play there made. As Polski boys take possession. Dumped in by Vodi, given chase. JM gets it. That dump and chase has worked well for Polski boys. Shot on, save made by Kosti. Almost an opportunity there for Polski boys as Vesa Pompa on the counterattack will be called offsides. Less than 14 minutes to play here in the third. Vesa Pompa looking for the tying answer. Polski boys looking to extend their lead once again. Face off, run by Vesa Pompa. Anton to Papine at the point. Goes down low. Scrum forward down the corner board, and Vodi ends up getting it. Kira has it. Oh, the puck is loose in front. Anton gets it. Now over to Antonio Mannon. Has a second gasp of air here for Vesa Pompa, but they're not able to take advantage. Turned over, but they find it back here in the neutral zone. Here's Zuvi. Moves it in low. Over to Anton. Back over to Zuvi behind the net. To Antonio Mannon. Turned over as Brockella picks it off. JM moves it past the blue line in the offensive zone for Polski boys. Brockella pass across, picked off by Papine. Papine over to Ekin, over to Antonio Mannon, who drops it back to Ekin, who will dump this down low over to Anton. Anton had it for just a second, but couldn't hold on to it long enough. That puck's going to be dumped all the way down. A race for an icing, and it'll be beaten there by Polski boys. Nice speed from JM. JM holds it and gives it down low to Saski. Up to the point to Kira, over to Vodi, as it's poked away there. Nice defensive play there by Anton. As it will force the Polski boys to reset with 8 minutes to play here in period number 3. Papine gets it now in the defensive zone. Ekin gets past the blue line and gives it to Antonio Mannon. Back to Papine. Papine trying to skate his way into space. Anton shot on. Another shot on. 2 saves. 3 saves now for Winchester. And the third time he's going to hold on to it as he gets a grasp of that puck to stop it for a whistle. 6:53 to play. Face off to the left side of Winchester. Won cleanly by Zuvi for Vesa Pompa. Antonio Manning up to Ekin at the right point. Gives it to Papine. Papine skates in. Trying to find a pass across, but couldn't. It finds the way to Anton, however, who was next to him. Papine to Ekin to Antonio. Shot from the high face-off circle. Shot! Oh, what a save by Winchester! Oh, he robbed him of the game-tying goal! Gloved it away on a wide-open net! And a timeout going to be called by Polski boys. Oh my word, Winchester keeps the lead for his team. I'd love to see a replay of that because that was the save of the day by Winchester. Face off to the right of Winchester. Vesa Pompa pushing. Defensive zone face-off won by Polski boys as Wakela has it, but it's turned over. Zuvi over to Anton. Anton tries to get his way across, passed it over, but it's picked off there from Polski boys. Here comes JM, skates it past the blue line, but it's turned over after the bump off by Ekin. 3.5 minutes to play. Vesa Pompa pushing the issue. Save made from Winchester on the far point shot. Vesa Pompa still has it. Papine holding at the left point, skates in, stops, gives it to Zuvi. Zuvi lost control, puck loose at the corner board, and it's picked up by Polski boys. Here's JM. It's a past the blue line in the offensive zone. Turned over. Less than 2 minutes left. Vesa Pompa has to find the goal here soon. Antonio Manning controls it, but it's turned over. Gets it back, however. Antonio Manning spins, pass across, puck loose, almost picked up by Winchester, but Vodi gets it for him. 35 seconds to play. JM holding it. Polski boys looking to hold on to a victory here. They need the points. Vesa Pompa gets it, however, with 20 seconds to play. Zuvi skates it in past the blue line, but a great poke check there at the line, and it will draw an offsides. Beautiful play there made by JM, the left winger for Polski boys. 18.2 seconds to play. Biggest face-off of the contest right here. Tie up. Won by Vesa Pompa. Antonio Manning gives it to Zuvi at the right boards. 12 seconds. Last chance here for Vesa Pompa. Ekin holds it. Shot on, blocked in front. 7 seconds. Zuvi gets it. Kugan Kira has it now behind. He's bumped off. He gets it. Antonio Manning needs a shot. Shot in front. Won't hit the net. And that will do it. Polski boys hold on to the victory. 3-2 over Vesa Pompa. So the two teams that came in tied will remain tied in the standings. 26 points for each. They split the regular season series. Both 1-goal games. And boy, Vesa Pompa, a valiant effort towards the end of this. But just not enough. As the 3-goal cushion for Polski boys will hold them through for a massive victory to their season. 9th victory of the year for Polski boys. They move to 9-13-2, while Vesa Pompa now 9-9-2. As you get a quick look there at everything. 16 shots on net for Vesa Pompa, just 7 for Polski boys. Vesa Pompa doubling Polski boys in time and attack. They're going to feel like they deserved a better result in this one than they got, but nevertheless, Polski boys was able to capitalize on a few chances. Had the bounce go their way on that 3rd goal by Wakela. And Vesa Pompa just not enough time at the end for them to find that game-tying goal. As you get a look at those goals there, Vesa Pompa with 2 goals in less than 2 minutes to get them back into it during the second period. As we'll take a look at each one individually. As that was the 3rd goal that would end up being the game winner for the Polski boys is it looked like it was poked off by a Vesa Pompa defender, hit off the boards. Brockella just kind of happened to be at the right place at the right time. Found the stick. Kosti was not ready for that play. Can't say you really blame him considering it was such a weird bounce. And finds his way into the net, and this is kind of how it goes sometimes. That might be the goal that ends up being the game winner. It's why you keep on pushing. You don't let your foot off the gas pedal. Polski boys applied a little bit of pressure and caught a break because of it. So a 3-2 victory for the Polski boys over Vesa Pompa as we get set to bring things back into the booth. Brandon B. Major Bigsby with you as, wow, what two great series there that we had. If you were just now joining us, we'll reset things for you and kind of catch you up. We saw Straikers versus GOONS as our first two games. Straikers with a 2-1 victory over GOONS in game one, but GOONS came charging back strongly. A strong offensive performance for them, a dominating 5-1 win over the ECL Elite Division's #1 team in the standings. 3 critical points for GOONS, who are not only looking to try to get themselves into the playoffs, but also are trying to avoid that relegation zone, similarly to both Polski boys and Vesa Pompa, who we just saw in those two games. 2 one-goal deciders. Polski boys winning that last game 3-2. Vesa Pompa winning the opening game by a score of 2-1, a game winner with 65 seconds left from Anton to give them the victory, as the standings are now updated. And here are how things look at the end of the day. A new team in the top 8, the Blackjacks, take over GOONS as the #8 team. 24 games played, 37 points. So still a lot that could change there with teams such as Purification and Vesa Pompa having games in hand. And ladies and gentlemen, it looks like GOONS have also played their final 2 games of the regular season. They are currently out of the playoffs, and that cannot change. So GOONS are officially eliminated from playoff contention. So that is good news for the likes of teams such as the Turret, Exen, Purification, Roots, Vesa Pompa, and Polski boys, who are all still in the hunt to make it in to that top 8. But I think the big winners today, Tunnel Vision. They go up, get some points. They see Straikers drop a game. Now, just a 3-point difference between them and Straikers for that #1 spot. And Valdoquitan and Esports as well a winner. Just a 1-point difference between them and Tunnel Vision and a 4-point difference between them and Straikers. So that game that Straikers dropped, game 2 against GOONS, that could have massive implications here at the end of the season. If you add 3 more points, all of a sudden you're up by 6 and up by 7 against Tunnel Vision and Valdoquitan. But no more, as Straikers now in a little bit more of a precarious position. As, man, these standings are always so tight. You just love to look at it. But another winner, you have to say, Purification in a really good position. Gains in hand over the Blackjacks. GOONS now officially out of playoff contention. Vesa Pompa still well in contention as well. Maybe couldn't get all 6 points, but nevertheless, still a lot of games in hand. You know, you don't have to worry about GOONS. You have gains in hand over Roots Gaming. It's really going to be Purification and the Blackjacks that they're going to have to really look out for. So it'll be a tight battle here as we get closer and closer to wrapping up the regular season. As, man, just such a tight race overall, such a tight race. And it's not just going to be like this in the 6v6, guys. I promise you, 1v1 is going to be just as tight as well. And if you want to sign up and participate yourself, if you are on the European side of things and are interested in the 1v1, make sure you go to sportsgamer.gg to sign up for the ECL 24 Spring 1v1, as sign-ups are open for that now. You don't have to waste time. You can click off of this broadcast right now. Hey, the games are done. You can click off right now. Go to sportsgamer.gg, sign up your name, click that link in our chat that we just put in, and even read more information if you want to know more about it. I don't blame you. You got to dot your I's and cross your T's, but I'm telling you guys, it's going to be great competition. It's going to be a lot of fun. You're not going to want to miss that. So sportsgamer.gg for that, or you can click the link that we just posted here in our chat. Big thank you to our sponsor one more time at Covalon Locker for their amazing support, and a big thank you to all of you for tuning in here with us for some fun ECL Elite Division action. A big shout out to Ken, who was behind the scenes on the production here today. Boss man doing a great job running the show, making everything run as smoothly as it did on today's broadcast. That'll do it here for tonight's coverage of ECL Elite action. Thank you all for watching. This is Brandon B. Major Bigsby signing out. We will see you guys next week for more ECL Elite Division action. Thanks again, and have a great night, everyone.
Minkä päällä lakukastike maistuu parhaalta? Ei voi tietää, ellei kokeile. Kouvolan lakritsi. Minkä päällä lakukastike maistuu parhaalta? Ei voi tietää, ellei kokeile. Kouvolan lakritsi.